Okay. We're back at it. Couldn't stream the last few days because, well, obviously, Merry Christmas celebrations. And, well, also, quite a bit of dinners with family. Now, we can finally get back to it. Now, the question is, can we beat the base game, the main game, side chapters excluded, before the New Year's? Well, I don't know how fucking long this chapter is gonna be, but we'll have to see. But my guess is it's probably gonna be really long. Actually, now that I think about it, doesn't this part of the game take place near the New Year? Maybe. Well, anyway. Yeah, wait, hold on, let me check the mic. Okay, we're good. Here we go. Phew. The Neon's bodyguards did not leave until midnight. I couldn't even sleep well, let alone prepare for the trial. No information on the body, no victim's identity, no incident reconstruction. It couldn't get any worse. Yeah, there's not really much to go off from. Promotional brochure. Yeah, there's a super secret facilities. Oh, well, super secret parts of the facilities that have been confidential. That are confidential that not even their investors know about. Yeah, that weird stain. American passport. David Johnson. Cables used to hung up the body. Yeah, this is also gunpowder residue was found near the handle. Shows signs of being struck and the lock's broken. Oh, this is the chip left after Annie got blown up. Our android friend. We didn't know until like near the end of her death. No idea what that's about. And alright, for the trade center, soundproof, got an ID system, right? Chief, I'm coming. I'm early, right? Well, why are you so energetic? I know how serious today's trial is. Even you, who is usually calm, look woe begone. That's why I have to stay focused and assist you on this side. Well, I never expected this scatterbrained girl to become reliable in less than a year. Anyway, you're the one handling the case, not me. If there's anything to worry about, it's all on you. Forget what I thought before. Alright, let's not joke around. Our time before the trial is precious. Did you see Galaxy on your way here? No, but I encountered many personnel of Neon Embassy and some unfamiliar police officers. I see. Cases involving foreign affairs do add extra tension to the situation. Since Galaxy is still hiding something from us, we're not on the same side as him completely. So what we can achieve today depends on ourselves. I don't... Is this a new character? Huh? Is Chief Drake... Is Chief Drake planning to ditch this client and go solo in court? OMG. Oh no, that's Galaxy. Hey, do you like my valuable accent? Hey, good to meet you two again. Galaxy, you finally showed up. We're in such a passive situation. Why are you smiling so lightly? This is my way of life. I can smile even more lightly, lol. That's weird. Galaxy, your father intervened suddenly yesterday, so we still have a lot to discuss. Oh, really? But I've said everything I need to say. I am a chairman and the son of the vice president. You two shouldn't push your luck. What? How can you say that? Walls have ears. I see. Yes, we are sorry. Anyway, I just want to live a peaceful life in the defendant's seat today. I leave everything to you two, even if something unexpected happens. I understand. Please rest assured. That's good. Then I'll take my leave. TTOI. TTYL. Isn't that a farewell phrase outdated by the decades? Alright, he's gone. Those Alright, he's gone. Those accompanying him have also left. So, that's it. Just now, Galaxy seemed to want to say something. I felt the same, although I really want to extract information about the victim from him. I believe Detective Sanford will provide us with a complete answer during the trial. Yeah, we can only decide our strategy after getting the complete information. Besides, we also need to pay attention to something unexpected that Galaxy mentioned. I don't know what he's up to, but I have a very bad feeling. Me too. Anyway, time's running short. Let's take our positions. Yes, Your Honor. January 29th, 9:30 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Oh, okay, no, it's the new year.
Order! Court is in session for the trial of Mr. Galaxy Kaeda.
The defense is ready. The assistant is ready as well. Okay, Stella's still alive. I thought it was actually her that got murdered. No, she's alive. Unless someone's disguised as her right now. The prosecution is ready.
Huh? Why are you two here together?
You think I wanted to? If it weren't for this case being unique, I wouldn't be here. And the one beside me really can't do much.
Both sides are really formidable this time. Seemingly, the special status of the defendant has indeed made the Procuratorate particularly pay special attention to this case.
It's not just the defendant's status that's special.
Huh? What do you mean, Prosecutor Ray?
Your Honor, before our opening statement, we need to provide some important information. I believe everyone in this courtroom is curious about the identity of the victim in this case, right?
Do you mean?
Yes. After a whole night of diligent work, Detective Sanford has finally recovered the body that was hanging from the rooftop. So the victim is no longer an unidentified woman. Wow, finally. So, who is she?
Who exactly is the victim?
The victim had quite a background. I believe many people in this courtroom knew her.
Wait, who the victim?
Yes, the name of the victim is... Erika Kujio.
What?
Huh? Oh shit. It's actually her this time. Okay, she's actually dead this time, guys. Okay, so we're not getting played here?
She is dead. Erika Kujio. Erika? Oh, wasn't she Snowflake, ahead of Sky Shield who fled the court? Order!
Wait, is this real? She was a wanted criminal by global law enforcement. Such is fate. The person who fled in court and almost blew up the courtroom became the victim in this case. And the ones who are involved in the trial remain the same. But...
If you don't believe it, look at this photo.
Oh, it's her with her hair let down.
When I heard the name of the victim, I didn't feel much. But now seeing the photo, I realized that Erika Kujio, who has been playing us for 5 years, is really dead.
Although her clothes are different, her appearance is identical when she impersonated the deceased Sophia McCall. Although there was no identification on her, the police have verified her fingerprints and DNA. She is undoubtedly Erika Kujio. Okay, she's actually dead. No fake deaths this time. She's legitimately dead.
Order!
Chief, what's going on?
Calm down. With so much technology at the police's disposal, they wouldn't make the mistake wait, with so much technology at the police's disposal, they wouldn't mistake the identity of the victim. But the shocking new information might lead to a significant change in the case. Something unexpected. That galaxy mentioned probably refers to the identity of the victim.
I'll be blunt. It's true that Erika Kuzio was a world-class wanted criminal with numerous murders to her name, but no one, not even a foreign citizen, has the right to execute a criminal privately before a court trial.
Indeed, the change in the victim's identity may lead to... Indeed, the change in the victim's identity may lead the court to reconsider this case. Given that the victim was a fugitive wanted, there might be some leeway regarding sentencing. But even so, the essence of the case remains... But even so, the essence of this case remains intentional homicide.
Intentional homicide, yeah, that was right.
I understand. So, now that the body has been recovered, does the prosecution have any further information?
What's the hurry? Everything will be provided. Next, the prosecution will present evidence and prove the defendant's guilt. Your Honor?
Yes?
Since there are still many crucial pieces of evidence that haven't been submitted, shall we call the witnesses directly?
Alright. Hopefully, the first witness can provide an account of the case in testimony.
Then let's have the Detective Sanford testify. She was present at the scene and promptly handled the situation.
Granted.
Everyone's here. I've been running into you guys a lot recently, so let's spare the courtesy. I just found out the identity of the victim. This matter is worth reporting on for the whole day. The kindergarten has already closed for the spring festival, and my son is waiting outside, so let's speed things up.
I haven't seen Detective Sanford's son before.
Although I want to speed up, this case is inadequately prepared on all sides, and given its involvement in serious foreign affairs, we have to proceed cautiously. Am I right, Mr. Drake?
Of course. Detective Sanford will rely on your information for... Detective Sanford will rely on you for information about the body and the scene.
No problem. Let's start with the autopsy report. Female, 30 years old, multiple ribs fractured, lungs, spleen damaged, died of excessive internal bleeding. Okay. As stated in the report, the cause of death for the victim was internal organ rupture and internal bleeding caused by a bullet.
Wait, why only internal bleeding? Didn't the bullet penetrate her body?
You got to the point. The weapon used to kill the victim and the protective gear she was wearing are both quite special. Let me start with this photo. First, let's talk about the necklace on the victim's neck.
Necklace? Is there anything special about it?
Not really. It's just a piece of jewelry that Erika Kuzio had been wearing for years. Its main purpose is to assist the police force in further confirming the identity of the victim. It's not worth much. Maybe it's special for the victim.
I see. Accepted.
You're taking a photo of a middle-aged woman.
This necklace. I think I saw it 5 years ago. I remember there was a photo of a middle-aged woman inside. Who could that be?
There were some other miscellaneous items found on the victim, but due to the urgency of the trial, some are still being examined. Here are some items that have been examined: a pistol, a bank card, and a peculiar pastry.
A pistol, a bank card, and a pastry?
This revolver is M9199, a police-issue firearm that our country phased out a few years ago. No fingerprints were found on the pistol, but it was fired twice on the day of the incident. This pistol is very likely the murder weapon in this case.
Wait, M9199. Detective Sanford, did you check the pistol serial number?
Your intuition is sharp. The serial number is 106505.
106505.
That's right. It is the pistol of Call, who died 5 years ago. What?
If I remember correctly, this gun has disappeared for long after the incident. Number 761, right?
Yes, I never expected to see it again after 5 years.
As expected, there is some connection between this case and incident number 761.
Could it be? The culprit of this case is the same person who took away the pistol 5 years ago? That's a reasonable speculation, but that's a reasonable speculation, but it can't establish a direct connection to the current case. Let's not discuss it for now. Besides, it's hard to figure out whether the pistol was always carried by Erika Kuzio or was placed by someone else. That makes sense. The other two items found on the victim are less eye-catching. Let's take a look at this bank card first.
Judging by the design, the issuing bank seems to be in our country.
Yes, the police have investigated this account, and there was recently a deposit of exactly $200,000. Wow, that's a lot. That's many years' worth of my salary. And the account holder is none other than the defendant sitting there, Galaxy Kaeda.
What? The defendant's bank card ended up with the victim?
Have you forgotten who the victim was? Since her identity was exposed, the police have frozen all assets under the name of Sophia McCon. During her time on the run, what she needed most was money, whether stolen or snatched, to survive. That's right. The bank card provides a perfect murder motive for someone seemingly unrelated to her like the defendant. Are you suggesting the victim attempted to rob or steal it from the defendant, and the defendant acted in self-defense? It's just one possibility. After all, it's hard to find a decent motive for anyone else present at the scene. And your client was quite careless, writing the password directly on the back of the card. It's almost begging to be robbed. So what do you say? You still have the chance to claim that the victim. So what do you say? You still have the chance to claim that the defendant's actions were self-defense.
Well. Once we claim Galaxy acted in self-defense, it's admitting he shot the victim. I won't bite on such an obvious bait.
Foolish. I'll submit the details of this card as evidence.
Alright. But comes to think of it, what's the use of this bank card with $200,000?
Next is this unidentified item.
Oh, it's the mooncake. Is this the pastry you mentioned?
Yes, specifically it's a mooncake, and the victim took a bite out of it. The forensic department confirmed that besides a high sugar content, there's no abnormal substances like poisons or drugs on it. It's probably just the food that Erika Kuzio carried around. Is that the signature symbol that this gal has on her mooncake? I think so.
Carrying a mooncake as food? What a strange habit.
Chief, isn't this?
Yes, I know. Let's wait and see.
Last and most important is the victim's attire. As you can see, the victim wasn't wearing casual clothes, but rather a set of high-end military gear. If that's true, she looks almost like a secret agent. The tight-fitting inner layer isn't noteworthy, but I'd like to draw your attention to this coat. It's a bulletproof vest.
A bulletproof vest? How strong is it?
Codenamed Kagiri. It's a high-tech bulletproof vest developed by Neon recently. It's one of the most advanced clothing, theoretically capable of defending against close shots from the most conventional weapons.
It can even defend against close-range shots.
Yes, it's lined with a graphene coating, the crystallization of the next generation technology, 200 times stronger than steel.
Huh? Wait, something's wrong. If the victim was wearing such powerful gear, why did she still get shot and die?
I'm about to explain that. The bullet that caused the victim's death wasn't an ordinary projectile either. It was a high-tech armor-piercing bullet called Snowwind, produced by the United States. This bullet not only contains an ultra-high hardness alloy, but also vibrates continuously during flight, causing further damage.
Can such a high-tech ammunition be fired with our country's old police-issued pistol from 5 years ago?
Oh, your focus is indeed special. You can rest assured that this bullet is a standard 12.7 millimeter caliber. Fired from that old pistol, it might lose at most 10 or 20% of its power, hardly causing any visible impact. Ah, so the peculiar bullet hole in the glass at this crime scene is also... Yes, it was left by this special type of bullet. By the way, due to the extreme hardness of this bullet, no rifling marks can be detected. Damn.
So, in this case, a person wearing a bulletproof vest was shot with armor-piercing ammunition.
It's quite eye-opening to see top-notch military equipment involved in such a small murder case. Anyway, as shown in the photo, this bullet did not penetrate the armor, but its vibration caused severe internal injuries to the victim, rupturing her organs and breaking several ribs. Although she wasn't directly penetrated by a bullet, her death was much more gruesome than being shot.
I see. Luna, what's wrong with you?
Although Kuzio was hateful, I can't feel happy at all knowing that she died so painfully.
I understand how you feel, but right now, let's focus on the case.
Alright.
It's the first time I received information about the victim after the trial began. I need to digest it properly. Continue.
Oh, you're finally awake. With so much evidence presented, you should all have a good understanding of the body's condition. Let me explain the police's speculated process of the incident and the basis for arrest in detail. This incident took place at the Skyrim Trade Center, jointly built by our country and Neon. It has been confirmed that the victim is Erika Kuzio, a head of Sky Shield who fled over a month ago. While the defendant was giving a speech, the body suddenly appeared out of the window with her arms dangling. The victim's fatal injury was a gunshot wound, and the murder weapon was an old-style police pistol found on her. Although the body was hanging from the rooftop, the true crime scene was on the 101st floor of the Trade Center. The defendant killed the victim on the 101st floor, then moved the body to the rooftop to conceal the truth. Unfortunately, the body was swept by the rooftop device, and the truth was revealed early.
A body falling from the sky. Like a horror movie. Those who witnessed everything at the scene are really unlucky.
So most people in this courtroom, except for you, are really unlucky.
Actually, there was a horror movie-like atmosphere on the scene yesterday. How dare the culprit do something like this right under my nose? Anyway, the scene was chaotic when the body appeared. Thankfully, Detective Sanford maintained order in time.
Defense, are you ready?
Detective Sanford mentioned the reason why the body was suspended from the rooftop. I need to carefully question that. Alright, let me begin questioning.
Alright.
Wait a sec.
With so many floors in the trade center, how did the police determine the crime scene?
I mentioned it yesterday. The main basis was the fingerprints on the elevator panel. On the day of the incident, only one elevator in the trade center was in operation, and the panel showed no signs of being wiped. The police checked the buttons with fingerprints one by one, and then identified the scene based on bloodstains and bullet holes.
Just to be sure, How could someone have used the stairs to move around inside the building?
I knew you would ask that. Since the building isn't operational yet, most stairwell doors are locked. The only accessible stairwells were on the 1st, 2nd, and 188th floors and the rooftop. So, even if someone climbed from the 1st to the 101st floor, they couldn't reach the crime scene.
Wouldn't that be too exhausting? By the way, since we couldn't investigate the scene yesterday, Detective Sanford, do you have any new information?
Of course. Let me explain with this full aura plan of the crime scene. It is said that the 101st floor will be developed into an observation deck overlooking the city, but currently it's empty. Apart from the surrounding floor-to-ceiling windows, there are only a few loaded-bearing cement pillars inside. On the eastern floor-to-ceiling window, we found a unique bullet hole with a diameter of about 15 centimeters.
15 centimeters? The bullet caliber is supposed to be 12 millimeters. Why is the bullet hole so large?
As I mentioned earlier, this bullet is not only extremely hard but also vibrates continuously during flight. Therefore, it left a relatively large cavity when it penetrated the glass. Forensic scientists have never seen such unique traces before, so we cannot determine the angle of the incidents. We can only preliminarily assume that the defendant fired a shot that missed the victim but hit the glass.
That does seem like the most reasonable inference.
Okay. Second, we found a small amount of blood on the floor that had been cleaned up. Cleaned up? Yes, obviously the defendant cleaned the scene to cover up this crime, but we easily restored the bloodstain with luminol reagent.
And who does the blood belong to?
Of course, it's from the victim herself.
Kutio sustained severe internal injuries, so the blood was likely from her mouth.
Well, I'll submit this floor plan as evidence. Okay. Elevator reaction bullet hole.
Wait a sec.
On that morning, the defendant needed to speak at the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Did he have time to move the body to the rooftop?
Yes, he did. Huh? Although many people attended the event, most of them arrived at the venue around 9:30 a.m. According to security personnel, the defendant entered the building before 8 a.m., so he had plenty of time to leisurely commit the murder, clean up the scene, and move the body.
None of these actions can be done leisurely.
The defendant cannot provide a convincing reason for his early arrival at the scene, only saying that he was preparing a speech. The prosecution considers this to be nonsense. Early arrival at the scene is irrefutable evidence of this premeditated murder.
It's indeed difficult to refute that viewpoint, but why did Galaxy arrive early?
Wait a sec.
Swept by the rooftop device. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'll explain it. The device at the top of the Skyrim Trade Center is a satellite positioning system covering the entire city. Huh? So that big circular ring on the rooftop is actually an antenna? Something like that. To ensure accurate signal reception, this ring rotates around very slowly. That thing has been rotating all the time? How come I didn't notice? This antenna rotates once every 24 hours. If you only observe for a few minutes, you won't notice any movement. It's likely that the victim was tethered to the rooftop by the water heater cables and was later pushed off by the device.
Wait, since the prosecution claims that the defendant hid the body on the rooftop, he should have avoided such an incident. Tethering the body in such a variable environment is begging for trouble, doesn't it?
The rooftop wasn't open to the public at the time of the incident, making it a logical place to hide the body. And the defense? Have you examined the evidence thoroughly? The purpose and principle of this turntable were kept confidential until the ribbon-cutting ceremony. The defendant had no idea it was a variable environment.
Is that so?
Anything new here? Okay. Oh, it's identified as a GPS system. Okay.
Wait a sec.
So the real cause of death was internal bleeding due to the impact of the armor-piercing bullet?
Yes, it's clearly stated in the autopsy report.
I have a question. How can the police determine that this pistol is the murder weapon? After all, there are no rifling marks on these special bullets.
We determined it mainly based on 3 points. First, this type of bullet has a relatively large caliber, and the gun models that can use it are not common. Second, after the incident, we sealed off the scene and found no other firearms during the search. Third, this pistol had fired twice within 12 hours, and it perfectly matched the traces at the scene. Given these factors, we can only conclude that this is the murder weapon.
It sounds like quite a rigorous analysis.
This pistol fired twice and matched the scene's traces. How exactly did it match?
Oh, I didn't explain it clearly. Let me be more specific. Both shots were on the 101st floor, one piercing through a floor-to-ceiling window, and the other hitting the victim. Ah, there we go.
Wait a sec.
I just want to press it first before I want to present the evidence.
Why did the culprit shoot at the floor-to-ceiling window?
The most reasonable inference is that his first shot missed, and the second shot hit. It's also possible that after hitting the victim, he fired another shot at the glass, but that doesn't seem logical. The order is meaningless. Regardless of which possibility, it won't change the defendant's guilt. Apart from the 101st floor, are there any other possible locations where the gun was fired? Why would there be? This gun didn't fire a third bullet. Seems like you're right.
Even though the number of bullets matches, is there really no other possible location for the third shot?
Objection.
Detective Sanford, the police seem to place too much focus on the 101st floor, the crime scene.
What's your point? All the relevant places in this case have been investigated thoroughly.
Yeah, I do believe you have done your best within a reasonable scope. However, what if we find gunpowder reaction at an inexplicable location?
What do you mean?
Since we got those gunpowder reaction test strips from Detective Sanford, my assistant wiped every accessible corner with them. And we detected gunpowder reaction on the security door leading to the rooftop.
What? Security door?
If both gunshots from the murder weapon occurred on the 101st floor, why was there a gunpowder reaction on the security door?
Are you sure? I can assure you, there are no bullet marks inside or outside the rooftop. Don't tell me you think the real crime scene is there. Remember, her blood was discovered on the 101st floor.
Indeed. We just find this area really strange, with gunpowder reaction but no bullet traces. But the existence of this evidence precisely reveals that the prosecution's investigation has a flaw.
Order! What's going on? I can't keep up with you.
According to the prosecution, if the two gunshots hit the floor-to-ceiling window and the victim respectively, then gunpowder reaction couldn't be found on the rooftop door. I see. Since you both have raised objections, I assume you have an explanation. So what's your opinion about that then?
Probably.
Tell me, how do you explain the gunpowder reaction to that shouldn't exist?
Let's see. The gunpowder reaction on the security door indicates
there's only one gunshot, there's another gun at the scene. The gunpowder reaction isn't the result of a gunfire. Probably the last one.
Maybe the gunpowder reaction isn't the result of a gunfire.
What could it be then? Someone set off a string of firecrackers at the door?
Well, it's possible, isn't it?
If you're right, this finding would have nothing to do with the case. Is that what you want?
You made a valid point. It seems I need to consider other possibilities. The gunpowder reaction of the... Okay.
There's only one gunshot. There's another gun at the scene. Well, we didn't find another gun at the scene. I guess there's another gun?
Maybe there's another gun at the crime scene.
Huh. The crime scene was sealed off and everyone was detained the moment the body was discovered. The pistol on the victim is the only one we found in the entire building. Could it be that the killer hid the gun somewhere after committing the crime? Or threw it off the rooftop? Oh? Prove it then. Well... Making baseless claims like this in the courtroom is no different from saying the victim was killed by an alien. You are right.
So, could the bullet hole in the 101st floor's window and the gunshot wound the victim be caused by the same bullet?
Huh. Are you suggesting someone shot through the glass from the outside?
What? Well, it's a possibility, isn't it?
Please clear your throat and listen carefully. Oh, and think carefully. The crime scene is the 101st floor. Do you mean the killer fired from a helicopter?
Why do I have to clear my throat to think? But she's right. There are no buildings of similar height nearby. This hypothesis is indeed highly unreliable.
Ah, I got an idea.
What kind of idea could you have? Don't tell me someone committed the crime while hanging against the window like Spider-Man.
Is that possible? Is that impossible?
Looks like she hit the nail on the head.
Don't be silly. The murderer cleaned up the crime scene after the shooting and even placed the murder weapon on the victim. The window on the 101st floor cannot be opened. How would the murderer get in if they shot from the outside? Don't take it seriously.
It seems that the defense is unable to provide a reasonable explanation for their new discovery.
Our clues are not enough. We need to shift our focus now.
In that case, we'll temporarily keep this clue as a point of doubt and continue.
No objections. Next, I would like Detective Sanford to explain the process of arresting the defendant.
Okay, that is also my concern.
Alright, I will play with you a little longer. I was present at the scene when the body was discovered, and the guests inside the building were immediately detained. The police investigated all individuals who could be involved in the case, and the prime suspect became evident. Okay. Among all the people present that day, only the right hand of the defendant, Galaxy Kaeda, showed traces of gunpowder reaction. After the police took the defendant away, they found a handkerchief stained with the victim's blood on him. Considering all the pieces of evidence, the police believe that the arrest and prosecution of the defendant were not unreasonable.
A handkerchief stained with the victim's blood?
Yes, and there was also slight dirt on the handkerchief, likely left when the crime scene was cleaned. Another solid evidence linking the defendant to the murder case.
Order! Order!
This guy really is interested in making himself more suspicious.
I have grasped the essence of Detective Sanford's statement. But, in all my years, I've never encountered a case in which the lead detectives happened to be at the scene when the crime occurred.
Not only Detective Sanford, but also I and the person next to me.
Me too.
Same here.
I see.
The judge seems to have a look of plaintive. Why didn't you guys include me?
Anyway, at the time, the ribbon-cutting ceremony had just begun, and the defendant was delivering the opening speech. Then the body suddenly dropped out of nowhere. I was so startled and I sprayed my snack everywhere.
There's no need to mention that.
The police sealed off the scene immediately and conducted an emergency search of everyone.
Yes, the search was rapid and thorough. Even Luna and I were checked. Me too.
The handkerchief with the victim's blood was found after the arrest of the defendant. The defendant's DNA was also extracted from it, confirming that the owner of the handkerchief is undoubtedly Galaxy Kaeda. During the interrogation, the defendant kept babbling nonsense and couldn't come up with a decent defense. In regard to the bloodstains on the handkerchief, his strange behavior, and the testimony of the witnesses. Even a dog can tell whether he's the murderer or not.
Order! Order! It seems that this foreign defendant is becoming increasingly suspicious.
This situation is indeed unfavorable for our side, but anyway, let me proceed with the questioning, please.
Okay, it's alright. You may proceed.
Alright.
Wait a sec.
Just to confirm, did every single person present at the scene undergo the test?
What do you mean?
I'm not doubting the competence of the police, but there are always some people who are not easy to test.
Huh. Stella, tell them. Fine. Indeed, there was one person who did not undergo any testing.
What? There really was someone?
Order! Order! Prosecutor Ray, can you explain that? If there are missed targets of the search, I have to reconsider the credibility of the evidence.
It was Justice Kaeda, the Vice President of Neon. The President of Neon is in severe illness, so actually Mr. Justice is acting as the President now. Therefore, his every move in our country represents the Republic of Neon, not just himself.
Are you saying he has...
Yes, during his diplomatic activities, he enjoys head of state immunity, and our country has no authority to investigate him. Diplomatic immunity! However, this privilege doesn't apply to his relatives or entourage, so it's okay for us to arrest and charge his son. As for his entourage, we have thoroughly checked them. Do you have any further questions?
I'd inspect that. What should I do? Should I say something?
I think we skip that for now.
Mr. Drake, what do you want to say?
Nothing. Please continue with the testimony. Up until now, both the police and our investigations haven't found any evidence against Mr. Justice. I'll be dead if I rashly accuse him.
Chief, are you thinking of doing something reckless again?
Well, well. At least I only remain in thinking.
Wait a sec.
The police believe that the defendant used this handkerchief to clean the crime scene.
Well, what else could it be? All the traces say he wiped away the blood from the floor.
I mean, maybe he didn't intend to clean the scene, but rather acted out of another reason, like simple obsession with cleanliness.
Are you serious?
No. Am I an idiot?
Wait a sec.
Only not unreasonable.
What is it?
I thought you would say something like the defendant is undoubtedly the murderer as usual.
I would love to say that, but there's some big figures in the audience today. After all, I am a public servant. Besides doing my job well, I also have to consider not causing trouble for the country. You two also be more cautious.
Yes? Indeed, there are many people from the Neon Embassy in the audience. We should avoid making provocative statements. Although Detective Sanford speaks casually, she really is meticulous in her work.
Wait a sec.
You already know that. I wonder what actions the two prosecutors took at the time. Can you two tell us?
You're questioning the witness, aren't you? Why us now?
To gather information from more perspectives?
Fine. Since I rarely get to be an eyewitness in a case, I'll talk about it. Hey, you! Yes, you! You first!
After the body appeared, I remained that Oh wait, after the body appeared, I remember that Prosecutor Ray was nearby, so I called her.
Yes, at the time, I had just finished talking to the defense lawyer's assistant and was about to leave the multifunction hall. When I received his call, I turned back. Detective Sanford and the officers arrived only a matter of moments. A matter of moments? At least a few minutes, I suppose. Is it possible that someone could have escaped or hidden during that period? No way. Many patrol officers were at the elevator and the staircase entrances, and all doors and windows were closed. The multifunction hall on the 188th floor is vast and empty. It's a vast and empty space with nowhere to hide.
It seems meaningless to claim that the murderer has already left the scene.
Wait a sec.
Investigate? What exactly do you mean?
You were there, weren't you? Why don't you tell us?
I remember there were a regular search and a full-body gunpowder reaction test.
Yes, most murderers wouldn't carry the weapon with them after committing the crime, so a simple search doesn't work. SMH. Huh? After interrogating the defendant all night, I have been being infected with the nonsense he learned online.
I should talk to Galaxy less from now on.
As for why we conducted gunpowder reaction tests, it's because we found a suspected bullet hole on the body through a telescope, and we are proved correct after the body was recovered. This test brought us decisive evidence to identify the murderer. Decisive?
Okay, so I think we have no choice but to accuse his dad.
Wait a sec.
If Justice Kayed is the real murderer in this case...
Hey, Chief, are you serious? Be careful.
Huh?
Accusing a foreign head of state openly in court is not as simple as playing house. Although the police couldn't conduct a search on him personally at the scene, we didn't find any evidence against him. If you think he might be the murderer, why don't you show me some evidence?
I was just...
Stop the nonsense and show it if you have.
Oh no, I can't retreat now. The evidence that can prove Justice Kayed's connection to the case is...
Well, shit. The card?
Objection.
This evidence clearly points out the error in Detective Sanford's... Oh, no.
No. Shit. Chief, what should we do? Have you found any contradictions in the testimony?
This case has a significant impact. Both the police and the prosecution have been extremely cautious in handling it. Although I hate to admit, I think it might be futile to search for flaws in their work. The prosecution should have prepared other witnesses. Should we end the questioning here?
Yeah, there's nothing else.
Detective Sanford, we want to end the questioning now.
Oh? Just end here?
Yes. For now, we can only temporarily accept the conclusion you have given.
Wise choice. That's good. The rest is left to the two prosecutors. I'll go to the lobby to look after my son now. Everyone, keep up the good work.
So, what should we do next? Although Detective Sanford has provided a lot of evidence, none of them is conclusive enough. I don't think it's time to pass judgment now.
Huh? In the past, the judge was always in a hurry to strike the gavel. Why is he being cautious today?
This is a major case that will affect the relationship between the two countries. No one dares to act hastily. This is a restraint, but it can be used to our advantage.
The prosecution is well aware of the sufficiency of the evidence mentioned above. They are only used to establish the possibility of the defendants committing the crime. The prosecution has more witnesses. Let them explain what the defendant has done.
Oh? So, who's the next witness?
I invite Moody Beans, a hard-working college student with unique taste, to the stand.
So the next one is Mooney.
Wow, the atmosphere inside the courtroom is indeed very unique.
What an energetic young woman.
Oh, you must be the judge, right? Beanie Baker, savor the flavor.
What? Mooncake? It's not mid-autumn festival now, is it?
It doesn't matter. Eating mooncakes during the spring festival brings you double the festive atmosphere. And this is a new product from Beanie Baker, special for spring festival dumpling-filled mooncakes.
Dumpling filling? So what kind of filling is in the dumplings? I prefer pork and cabbage.
Hey, this isn't supposed to be the Wait, hey, isn't the point supposed to be on the mooncakes with dumpling filling? Who cares about the filling of the dumplings?
Ah, you two are here too. Nice to meet you. Do you want to buy a few more?
So noisy.
Wow, you scared me. You seem to enjoy listening to music. How about a set of music-themed mooncakes? Whether it's in the shape of a musical note, or a piano, or a flute, I can make them all.
Please don't sell anything in the courtroom. He's tempted. Definitely. Your name and occupation.
Must we go through the confusing procedures? So rigid. My name is Moody Beans, and I'm an ordinary college student, and also the founder of Beanie Baker. Beanie Baker is saving the flavor. The witness's family is not in a very good financial situation, so she sells mooncakes to lighten the burden at home. By the way, her sales activities are unauthorized, but that is unrelated to the case, so we will not discuss it here.
Oh, she's truly an outstanding young person, so passionate towards life.
Did you hear her unauthorized business part? Let's go back to the track. Prosecutor Ray, why is this witness here? What does she see?
The prosecution wants her to testify because she holds crucial information to identify the murderer, although she didn't eyewitness anything firsthand.
Huh? What does that mean?
Well, I didn't actually see anything. It's just that through a fortunate coincidence, I heard something. Specifically speaking, the defendant's confession to the murder.
Confession to the murder? What's that?
The details will be explained in the testimony. Witness, go ahead. All right. That morning, my mooncakes weren't selling well, so I decided to try my luck at that super luxurious building. I found a rope ladder in the dark alley and climbed straight into the second floor from there. It was around 8 a.m., I think. I found an elevator and just randomly pressed the button. It seemed like the 101st floor. As soon as the door opened, I heard a man crying. It was so miserable. He kept repeating a terrifying sentence. I was so scared that I closed the elevator door. Later, I saw a sign saying that there was an event on the top floor, so I went there and blended into the crowd. You all know the rest. I was thoroughly searched by that woman with long hair, the boss lady.
So the witness entered the building by a rope ladder?
Well, because the people at the entrance of the building wouldn't let me in. Although the witness's actions are suspicious, there were no gunpowder reaction or other traces left from firing a gun.
Indeed, considering Mooney's physique, if she had used that pistol, it's likely her shoulder or arm would have been injured.
I just wanted to sell a few more mooncakes. I know it was wrong. I promise I won't do it again.
Witness, you mentioned hearing the defendant's confession to the murder. What exactly did he say?
The confession to the murder. The terrifying sentence I heard was in a foreign language, but I looked up its meaning. The sentence is, "I killed you."
Order! Witness, are you sure the sentence came from the defendant?
Yes. At first, I didn't know who it was, but later, I managed to blend into the ribbon-cutting ceremony. The moment the defendant started speaking, I knew for sure that it was him.
Wait a moment. Can you understand Neon's language?
No, I can't. I could only tell it was in Neon's language, and I didn't know what it meant. He repeated it so many times that I remembered the pronunciation and used my phone to find out the meaning.
How is that possible? You don't even know how to spell that sentence. You can't be able to find its meaning, can you?
Chief, are you a hermit living with no internet?
Huh?
Voice translation. Every smartphone has it.
Voice translation? What is that?
You select the language, speak into your phone, and it will translate your words into the specified language.
Wow. Is that possible?
Fine, I'll open an app and let you try it yourself.
I haven't understood how it works.
Okay, let's see if I can read this in Chinese. 我这是不明 Is that bye? Yeah. 我这是不明 I've damn I'm familiar with that one character. I'm familiar with this character. Like, I've seen this character before, it's just I don't know what its Hanyu opinion is. Okay, buy something 是怎么 What is that Shan? Yeah, 怎么上 something duh. Okay, this is what is this? This is yeah, okay, I can pronounce some of these words, but I don't know what it means. I know 我 means I or myself. 这是 means yeah, 这是 means this. 不 just means negative or no. Mean well, I mean it can mean tomorrow, but I don't think this actually no, this could mean day. This is tomorrow. Wait. How is this tomorrow? Wait. It's yeah, Zuma means wait. Is that Zuma? Was that wait, no, yeah, I think it is. Oh, whatever. Okay, I just roll it.
Wow, it's actually translated into Chinese.
So the credibility of the witness testimony shouldn't be in question now, right? After the defendant killed the victim on the 101st floor, perhaps out of remorse, he was confessing in front of the body. And the witness, who has happened to pass by the scene, heard everything. This is another solid evidence of the defendant's murder.
Order, order. I didn't expect to hear such information. Defense, what do you think?
I never heard about this information before, so I can't make any comments until the questioning is complete.
I see. You may proceed with the questioning.
Alright. Be right back.
Alright, back. Whoop. Alright.
Wait a sec.
Who left the rope ladder? Do you have any clues?
I mentioned it when we met yesterday. The rope ladder was already there when I went to the dark alley. As for who, when, and for what purpose the rope ladder was placed there, we still need to investigate. However, it is almost certain that the victim, who was not on the invitation list, must have entered the building that way. I think the rope ladder was most likely installed by her or her accomplice.
Indeed. Indeed. It should be the only way to bypass the security, but she couldn't install the rope ladder from the outside. Erika Kudzo, did she really have accomplices inside the building?
Anyway, based on my experience, these grand buildings usually have a back door, which is never fortified.
Where did you get such kind of experience? Alright.
Wait a sec.
So you randomly pressed the button and coincidentally ended up on the 101st floor where the incident occurred.
Is that a very coincidental thing? This building is over 180 floors, and while the elevator panel doesn't have that many buttons, it's still quite a few. It's really a coincidence that you accurately pressed the button on the floor where the incident happened. Oh, is it a coincidence? I thought there were murders happening on every floor of that building.
Every floor? Do you think we're shooting a horror movie or something? I think if you were selling products, you start from the higher floors and work your way down, or vice versa.
Objection!
What's the point of dwelling on the fact that the witness happened to press the 101st floor button? If you think she intentionally chose the 101st floor, present your evidence. Otherwise, just move on to other aspects.
Yes, ma'am. Wait, I'm not her subordinate. Why am I obeying her? I better set this question aside for now and listen to more important information.
Wait a sec.
Did you not take a single step out of the elevator at that time?
How could I dare to step out when I heard such a strange sound?
What did you see then?
From the inside the elevator, all I could see were some pillars, not any person. But I heard that crying so clearly. Does this crying belong to the defendant, Galaxy Kaeda? Well, I know crying and speaking are different, even if it's from the same person, but he was crying while speaking. It should be him.
Wait a sec.
Is this what you call a confession to murder?
Yes, that voice was crying while repeating that sentence. I killed you! I killed you! I killed you! I killed you!
Objection!
Luna, what are you objecting to?
Well, she got scared. Enough! Can you not make it sound like a horror movie? Can you not make it sound like a horror movie when testifying? I didn't mean to, but that voice really sounded like from a horror movie. At that time, I didn't know the meaning of that sentence. I thought I just encountered a ghost. Of course, I had to run away quickly.
If he repeated it so many times, is it possible that someone was playing a recording?
That's impossible. I worked at a radio station during school, so I know the difference between a recording and a live sound. Moreover, it's simply a random event that the witness arrived on the 101st floor and heard the confession. No one would have a reason to prepare such a recording.
That's true.
Wait a sec.
Are you referring to the 188th floor by top floor?
Huh? I remember pressing the button with the highest number in the elevator. Isn't that 188?
It seems like she doesn't know that there's another floor above the 188th.
Speaking of which, you reached the 188th floor, so why didn't you go around selling mooncakes? Well, I was really scared about what happened on the 101st floor, so I wasn't in the mood to sell anymore.
Wait a sec.
Were you also present at the multifunction hall when the body appeared?
Yes, I was. I was sitting closer to the front, and even one of the first people to scream.
Her words remind me that there did seem to be some liquor in the front row. Despite having such a distinctive personality, she surprisingly has a low presence when sitting down.
And then I was captured and interrogated by that boss lady. After Detective Sanford cross-referenced the guest list, it quickly became apparent that the witness was not among the invitees, so she was treated as a suspect and questioned for a long time.
Well, well, considering Detective Sanford's temperament, it's a miracle she didn't just cuff her and take her away on the spot.
Okay.
Wait a sec.
How long have you been selling mooncakes in the block near the crime scene?
It's been about a week. Before that, I sold more at school, but unfortunately, the teachers and students didn't buy much.
I believe it's not because of the location, but your products.
Then why do you think it would sell better at a Skyrim Trade Center? At the Skyrim Trade Center. Oh, so that building is called the Skyrim Trade Center? Were you not a native of Unity Avenue? Have you never taken a glass of those big words? Anyway, based on my experience, people who appear in places like that usually have better taste. So I specially prepared this customized version for our high-end individuals. They're priced at 3 times higher.
So that's what the so-called better taste mean.
Speaking of mooncakes, would you rich and powerful ladies and gentlemen who would like to have the taste?
Are you going to sell mooncakes in the courtroom again?
No, I won't. It's too short-sighted to be greedy for small profits on the sloppy court. I want to give you some mooncakes for free. If you like them, please help me promote them and bring them a bigger market.
Very clever. What should I do? He's already handing over the mooncakes.
Taste the mooncake? Okay.
Since you invite, I'll...
Defense, how dare you eat in the courtroom? It's a blasphemy against the entire judicial system.
I'm hungry. I'll take it.
Hey!
Wow, it seems like the formidable prosecution team's about to be undermined by a mooncake.
I want a piece too. I bought one yesterday but never had a chance to eat it. Sure, and you, sir, and your honor, please have some too.
It suddenly occurred to me that she makes mooncakes with strange fillings. Is it really safe to eat them? Wait a moment. This mooncake, it's actually...
amazing! Although I hate to admit it, this is indeed the most delicious pastry I've ever had.
Wait, why are you eating it too?
Witness, are you really just a street vendor from a handmade maker? The taste, it's so delicious, I almost cry for it.
Thank you for your compliments. This signature bean paste mooncake took me many years to invent. It has such an amazing taste, but I can never sell a single piece. It's really puzzling.
If you stop inventing those weird flavors and shapes, it would be much better.
Wait a minute, Mooney, you didn't sell any mooncakes on the day of the incident? Well, not really. You bought some, remember? But except for you guys, no one else bought any.
Can you include that statement in your testimony?
Objection!
Are you going crazy from eating mooncakes? What does this information have to do with the case?
Objection.
I'm the one conducting the questioning now, so please let the witness follow my instructions.
I hope you know what you're doing. Hey, don't argue. I'll just do as he says. On the morning of the incident, I didn't sell a single mooncake. That's why I entered the building. Terrifying. Didn't sell. There it is. That's why I didn't enter the building. I think. Wait, hold on. I need to press this first.
Wait a sec.
Just to be sure.
What about the day before the incident? Did you sell any mooncakes then?
Why do you care about that? The day before the incident, I was taking care of my sick mom and didn't go out.
So you didn't sell a single piece for a long time until we met?
Yes. Why do you keep emphasizing that? It's really frustrating. Chief, what are you thinking?
I suddenly have a bad feeling. What does this contradiction really mean?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Is that hers?
Objection.
Witness, let me confirm again. On the morning of the incident, did you really not sell a single mooncake?
Of course not.
I'm not doubting you, but your testimony just now is clearly hiding something.
Really?
Yes, if you didn't sell any mooncakes that morning, then this piece of evidence would be conflicting. Because your mooncake showed up in a place it absolutely shouldn't have been. On the body of the victim, Erika Kuzio.
Eh? Why was it still there?
Order, order. Defense, what exactly are you trying to say? Can you explain it clearly?
Your Honor, please look at this evidence submitted by the police after the trial began. Although part of it has been bitten off, the words Beanie Baker on the mooncake are still clearly visible.
Yeah, that is hers. Well, her creation.
Is this a witness's item? Is it really made by Beanie Baker?
Prosecutor Ray just mentioned that Miss Beans is operating without a license. How can anyone counterfeit an unregistered trademark?
Oh, that makes sense.
Objection!
Even if the victim had a mooncake by the witness, what's the problem with that? The mooncake is harmless, and the cause of death is completely unrelated to it. It has no connection to this case.
Objection.
Don't you get it? The unique pastry made by the witness couldn't have ended up on the victim, a fugitive, without reason. The only reasonable inference is that there was a contact between the witness and the victim. Since the victim escaped from the court, and at the end of last year, she had disappeared. When we saw her again, she was already dead. It means that up until now, we had no information about the victim's activities before her death. The witness likely saw Kuzio alive, and you cannot say this has no connection to the case.
Order, order. Witness, is what the defense said true?
Erika Kuzio? Is that her name?
Do you know this name?
No, the lady only mentioned her last name started with a K. I thought it was Keller or something. You really had contact with the victim? I only sold her one mooncake, nothing else. I don't know anything.
When and where did you meet her? What did you talk about?
It was on the second floor after I climbed the rope ladder. I thought she was there for the event, so I went to sell mooncakes. It was on the second floor. You dare to sell to a fugitive? It's a wonder you're still standing here alive. I just thought she was quite polite when she spoke, but we didn't talk about anything important. I didn't know her identity or where she was going. I only sold a $1 mooncake to her.
What happened after that? Where did you go? And where did she go?
That lady took the elevator and left. As I said earlier, I went around looking for other buyers. If that's the case, why didn't you reveal this information right from the start? Because I was very scared, afraid of getting involved in trouble.
From the moment you decided to step onto the witness stand, you were already involved in trouble.
So you wasted so much of our time just to prove that the victim had bought a mooncake. May I ask what progress has been made in the case?
Though it's surprising that the witness saw the victim alive, this information sounds useless. Defense, let's refocus on the defendant.
No, something's off. Mooney must be hiding something.
But I'm a person of my word. If I promise something, I absolutely must keep it.
What do you mean? Do you have more insider knowledge about the case?
Insider knowledge? I wouldn't say that. After all, I'm just an outsider. But there's something very important that I must figure out.
She seems very conflicted about what she knows. Always on the verge of saying something but holding back. Think it over. There must be more hidden clues. Mooney Beans has already admitted that she sold the mooncake to Kuzio. Concerning her subsequent actions, what exactly has happened in between?
Are you finally speechless? Your Honor, we believe that the witness's questioning can be concluded.
Indeed, such brief contact with the victim cannot bring any substantial progress to the case. Pardon?
Wait a sec.
The defense believes the witness has not yet revealed the whole truth.
Chief, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Not really, but I can't miss a chance to try. The defense believes the witness is hiding this matter. Her true identity, her reason for going to the 101st floor, what did you witness? I think her reason for going to the 101st floor. Because she probably saw the bean paste mark on the button and probably figured, oh, she probably wants to, she seems to have eaten her mooncake, maybe I could sell her another one, maybe. So it's either the middle one or the last one. Cause yeah, I don't think Kujo would have disclosed her identity to some random street vendor. I think maybe her reason to go to the 101st floor. Actually, well, let me look at the diagram. Cause she was in the elevator hall, and she saw, the two pillars, but she didn't see any blood, which presumably is, because she didn't see the moment the victim was killed. So this would have been, after the supposed wiping of the blood. In that case, her reason. Yeah. Your reason for going to the 101st floor. You said in your testimony that you pressed a button at random and coincidentally got to the 101st floor. But is that really the case?
What do you mean? I explained earlier. How could you possibly prove that what was going through the witness's mind when she pressed the button?
No, I can prove it. Mooney Beans going to the 101st floor was wait, what? Mooney Beans is going to the 101st floor was not a random event. The evidence is this.
Yeah, this.
Take this.
This is a photo of the inside of the elevator.
Yes, please pay attention to the position of the button for the 101st floor.
There's a stain on the button.
That's right. Specifically, it's a small amount of bean paste. According to the witness, Kujo bought a mooncake from her and left in an elevator. Since we found a bent mooncake on the victim, it's not hard to deduce. This bean paste was likely left by Kujo while she was eating the mooncake and pressing the button.
Makes sense. I didn't expect the victim to be so careless in her habits.
That's not the point. Witness, the reason you went to the 101st floor was because you saw the bean paste on the button, right?
Huh?
As the maker of the mooncake, the moment you saw the bean paste on the button, you couldn't know where Kujo went. You claimed that you had no further contact with her after selling her the mooncake. Then why did you choose to follow her after she left?
What?
Objection!
The victim's peculiar attire and suspicious behavior would make anyone want to follow her and see what was going on.
Objection.
The witness, as a mooncake vendor, insisted on following a customer who had already made a purchase. That doesn't make any sense.
Objection!
Even if her actions were slightly unusual, the police have thoroughly investigated and ruled her out as a suspect in the case. Her actions are unrelated to the case, and pressing her further is a waste of time.
Objection.
Having no criminal suspicion does not mean her actions are entirely unrelated to the case. If people without suspicion shouldn't be questioned, then we can directly skip Detective Sanford's testimony.
This is sophistry! Could you stop arguing? If Miss Kujo's soul is listening from the afterlife, she might be saddened by this. If she could really hear us, I think she would be laughing at us. Since yesterday, I've been struggling, whether to keep my promise to or follow my heart. But now I figured it out. She is already dead. The dead can't speak anymore. To catch the killer and let her rest in peace, I can't stay silent anymore.
I don't know what kind of promise you made, but every bit of information brings us closer to the truth.
Maybe. That's true. I'll tell you everything that happened on the day of the incident.
It's finally coming.
That day, I climbed up to the second floor by a rope ladder, intending to hide between potted plants to observe the situation. But just as I squatted down, someone grabbed me by the collar and dragged me into a corner.
Do we get a CG?
Who are you? Shut up! I'll ask questions, and you answer honestly. Or else, don't blame me for being rough. Okay. Who are you, and why are you here? Did you set up the rope ladder? My name is Mooney Beans. I'm a college student. I just found the rope ladder too. What is a college student doing here? Hand over the basket. Okay. What is this? This is why I'm here. Beanie Baker, savor the flavor. Would you like to buy one too, miss? Puh, what a weirdo.
Promoting mooncakes to someone threatening your life is truly admirable.
I can't agree more.
But the conversation just now seems to suggest that even Kujo herself didn't know who set up the rope ladder. If the person who set up the rope ladder wasn't Kujo's accomplice, then who prepared for it, and for what purpose?
After that, the lady let me go, and we chatted for a while. So you're Mooney Beans. Why aren't you focusing on your studies and instead selling mooncakes? It's because my father died in a car accident and my mother is often ill. I need to lighten the family burden. Oh, how much are the mooncakes? My signature bean-paste mooncake is only $1 each. Would you like to buy some more, miss? I didn't plan on spending money today, so I didn't bring cash on my phone. I can probably buy only one. Probably only buy one. It's okay. It's a thought that counts. This isn't a long-term solution. If there's an opportunity, I'll introduce you to a job at an international organization. It's not a high-paying position, but it's a legitimate part-time job, which is more stable than peddling on the streets. Ah, about that. I'm going to meet a wealthy friend later. I'll see if I can get him to help you out. The mooncake is very sweet. Remember, no matter who asks, don't tell them you saw me here. Okay, I won't. Also, make sure to take care of your mother. Don't let it be too late for everything.
What's going on with you?
How should I put it? Feels like what the witness just described is very different from the Erika Kujo we know.
Yes, it's like they were two completely different people. I swear, I didn't lie at all, Miss Kujo. She was truly the best person I met in the past few days. But why would such a good person just die like that?
By the way, who are Erika Kujo's parents?
Orphan. According to Neon's records, she wandered on the streets as a child and was later adopted by a woman. Kujo is likely her adopted mother's surname, but we know nothing about her adoptive mother.
Did she say those words to Mooney because she recalled her own experiences?
Defense? What kind of performance are you putting on now? A few kind words don't absolve the victim of any guilt. And what she said doesn't clear up the defendant's suspicions in the slightest.
No, please wait. Witness, I have a general understanding of your meeting with the victim, but why did you follow the trail on the button after she left? You didn't need to do that, right?
Well, it's a bit embarrassing to say. You actually have things you're embarrassed to say? But if I don't clarify this issue, it might cause more trouble for Miss Kujo. Your Honor, may I testify about this? It's hard to explain in just a few words.
I don't see any connections to the case, but since the witness has information about the victim's last moment, we need to hear it. Please continue.
Thank you. At that time, Miss Kujo fumbled for a long time before she found $1 to buy the mooncake. I was actually very happy, but she said it wasn't enough and wanted to introduce me to an international organization. Then she said she's gonna meet a wealthy friend who might be able to help solve my problems. And I thought, if I could meet a friend, maybe I could sell him lots and lots of mooncakes. Then, when I got in the elevator, I happened to see the bean paste on the button for the 101st floor, so I pressed it. I've already told you what happened next.
I don't know what to say. As a vendor, your dedication is truly remarkable.
But this reason doesn't seem to help with our defense at all. It's surprising that Sis didn't shout nonsense to stop us from questioning.
Indeed, normally Prosecutor Ray would have put a lot of pressure on us for wasting time. The audience arranged by Mr. Justice has actually provided us with some convenience. Don't rush to conclusions. Seemingly mundane testimony might hide unexpected new information. Your Honor, may we proceed with the questioning?
Go ahead.
Wait a sec.
It took a long time to find just $1.
Yes, it seems like she didn't have her wallet. In the end, she scraped together 4 coins to pay for the mooncake. If she only had that little money on her, why did she insist on buying your mooncake? Probably because she heard about my family.
When Kujio was out and about, wouldn't it have been inconvenient to carry so little cash?
She had been nationally wanted for several months. What financial resources could she have?
I suppose she must be at her wit's end. Indeed, life must have been tough when she was globally wanted.
Of course. Otherwise, what's the point of being wanted? Do you want to try and being a fugitive too?
No, I'd rather not. However, Kujio's living conditions at the time of the incident were extremely dire. This is probably an undeniable fact. This might be useful information. Better note it down.
Oh, that's a that's a typo there.
Wait a sec.
International organization, is it?
Wait a moment. Wasn't Erica Kujio Snowflake the head of Sky Shield? So she wanted to recruit Moody into the organization and train her to be an assassin like herself?
Order, order. Defense, please refrain from making such terrifying statements.
I don't understand why you would have such a misunderstanding, but Miss Kujio definitely meant well. About the international organization, she said it was a legitimate part-time job with not high pay. How can it involve a crime? On second thought, Moody doesn't seem to have any potential as an assassin. I misspoke. The reasons for proposing and dismissing the hypothesis are equally unreliable.
Anyway, Kujio intended to introduce the witness to a legitimate part-time job with an international organization. This sounds too mundane, but how does she have connections with a legitimate international organization?
Wait a sec.
Do you know who this wealthy friend is?
I don't know. If I knew who it was, I wouldn't have needed to follow her. I could have just looked it up on my phone, or looked up the phone number online.
Can you really find that on the internet?
So did you meet him later? Of course not. After I got into the elevator, I encountered that creepy incident. I originally planned to sell mooncakes in that luxurious building, but I didn't sell a single one. Was Miss Kujio killed because of the bad luck I brought? Even if she didn't die in this building, she wouldn't have survived long being globally wanted.
Did the victim provide any further information about this wealthy friend?
No, I was too embarrassed to ask. I didn't want to be misunderstood as trying to ride his coattails. That would be so awkward.
But you wanted to sell your mooncakes and that's riding his coattails? The victim's social connections might be the key to the case. Could you please try to remember again? Any detail might help.
In that case... I remember something. When Miss Kujio mentioned this friend, she looked upward. Looked upward?
There is a theory that when people refer to someone at a known location, they instinctively look up in the direction of that location.
So this wealthy friend of Kujio's might actually have been above her. Making out certain assumptions based on vague recollections, have you truly become this desperate?
Well, I was just suggesting a possibility. But who could have been above her at the time?
Wait a sec.
Did you think that just by following her you couldn't meet her friend?
Well, actually, I wasn't sure. She never mentioned what she was going upstairs for.
Does the prosecution have any clues about the victim's motive for going to the 101st floor?
Not to mention the 101st floor, we don't even know why she suddenly appeared on Unity Avenue at the time.
Unity Avenue is a common place for receiving foreign guests in the city, with police presence far higher than other areas. The victim infiltrated the building as a wanted criminal, practically walking into a trap.
What? You have so much police presence, but you couldn't even figure out the victim's motive? Unless you can summon her soul to ask her directly in court, spare us the sarcasm. Ah, my bad.
The purpose of Kujo going to the 101st floor is also a point worth investigating.
Wait a sec.
You noticed the paste on the bun right away.
Yes, of course. After all, I made it myself. And the whole elevator was filled with such a rich, sweet aroma.
How much sugar did you put in it?
Looks like Kujo really did eat the mooncake when he sold. Of course, it's Beanie Baker's signature product. No one can resist it.
Nothing unusual was detected in the mooncake.
Hey, what do you mean? Are you implying that there's something wrong with my mooncakes?
No, not at all.
Dare to insult my masterpiece? Next time I'll send this gunpowder-filled mooncake to your office.
Can that even be called a mooncake? And why haven't the bailiffs confiscated it?
Rooney, calm down. The chief was being impulsive. Don't take it to heart. Please continue your testimony. Alright, but only for your sake.
Wait a sec.
By what happened next do you mean hearing the defendant's confession on the 101st floor?
Yes, it was that phrase repeated over and over. Stop! Don't repeat it again! I've heard enough!
How long after the victim left did you follow?
I didn't pay attention to the time. Maybe 10 minutes? And including the time waiting for the elevator, it might have taken about 20 minutes.
So the victim was killed within those 20 minutes.
Objection!
I know what you're trying to say. 20 minutes is not long, but not short either. It's enough time to do many things. The defendant had plenty of time to kill the victim, clean up the blood, and then confess to the body.
Hey, I haven't even started on that line of thinking, and you already refuted it. Our questioning will end here. Thank you.
Is this the end? Can you determine who killed Miss Kuzio? Chief, have you found any flaws?
There are no flaws, but I realized something very important. It might provide a whole new perspective on the case. Yes, this difficult case with incomplete info, and a silent defendant finally has a chance for a counterattack.
Stop being so mysterious. I only allow this pointless questioning out of respect for the people in the courtroom. If your conclusion is meaningless, don't blame me for being rude.
Well, calm down. Mooney's testimony seems scattered, but it actually provided us with some interesting information. Erika Kuzio had been in a wanted state for a long time, and her living conditions were quite dire. The reason she went on to the Skyrim Trade Center was most likely to meet a wealthy friend. Based on Mrs. Bean's description, this friend might be connected with an international organization. Besides, that friend was probably above her at the time. Yes, combining the information we know, it's not hard to deduce that the person Erika Kuzio was going to meet is...
Yeah. That's the only guy. Yeah, no, this is... I think we're in China, so... Yeah,
Take
yeah,
this.
Galaxy.
Well, isn't this the defendant? Order.
Yes, although during our meeting with the defendant, he didn't reveal any information about the victim. But based on the conditions, it's clear Kuzio intended to meet Galaxy on the day of the incident. Galaxy Kaeda is the chairman of the international organization, Friends of the Environment. I'm not sure about his financial status, but given his position, he's likely much wealthier than ordinary people. What's more, Kuzio's subconscious glance upwards suggests she knew Galaxy was waiting on the 101st floor.
Defendant, do you have anything to say?
Huh. So there's still something involving me.
It's your case being tried. How could it not involve you? Could you at least comment on my reasoning just now?
Since it's your reasoning, you might as well continue with it. I just want to be a spectator for now.
Enough!
Oh, she said, oh, new line.
Enough! I don't want to hear your banter with the defendant anymore. If, as you claim, the person waiting on the 101st floor was the defendant, isn't his suspicion of crime heavier?
This feeling. Is Prosecutor Ray about to initiate a confrontation with me?
Oh shit, here we go again.
Oh boy.
你对这位证人的询问，只是加速了这场庭审以有罪告终的进程。
Well, let me take a look at the evidence first. Test strips, rope ladder, the brochure, keeping, emphasizing how certain things are confidential, even to the investors. Yes list, the button, steering, the American passport. We still don't know why this is even here. Security door to the rooftop, cable, GBXF 004 is checked. Rooftop device, large device rooftop, glass door of the American consulate, photo of the body. Yeah, blood did come out of her mouth. And she was hit. Necklace of solicitude. Bank card. Okay.
很可惜，我并不这么认为。如果你有任何见解，我愿意接受你的挑战。
好得很，我等的就是你这句话。也许林小璐的确是与被告相约见面，但这只会加强被告杀害林小璐的嫌疑。
Objection！ 被告与林小璐有了相见的约定，还要计划动手，这也太明显。
Objection！ 如果你想要杀死一个人，那最简单的方式不就是想办法单独约见对方吗？警方之前对二人的约见尚不明确，你对证人的询问恰恰将这一空缺补全了。
这样说也没错。
Prosecutor Ray's made a valid point. A hasty attack will only result in a stronger counterattack. I better carefully search for a weakest point and counterattack with precision.
也许林小璐的确是与被告与死者在案发地点相约，很可能就是要有计划的伏击他。而事实上，证人在林小璐离开的20分钟后，就听到了被告杀人自白。无论他们相约见面的目的是什么，依然。
Objection！ 当天天际贸易中心有盛大的剪彩活动，死者曾接触过的人不应只有被告。事实上，这位证人窦子荣就和死者有过接触。
Objection！ 要我再说一遍被告被捕的经过吗？现场只有他被检测出硝烟反应，并且还有证人听到了他的杀人自白。难道在这样的情况下，你还能给我找出另一个嫌疑人来？
哎呀，我确实还没找到。
I truly haven't found any other potential murderer. That's my biggest weakness. I need to avoid it and find a weakest point in the prosecutor.
也许林小璐被告与死者在案发地点相约，很可能就是要有计划的伏。
Objection！ 我们都知道，这个案发现场，也就是天际贸易中心的101层，除了承重柱之外，一无所有。如果被告存心想要伏击死者，怎么会选择这样一个根本无处藏身的空旷场所？
案发现场确实不是什么好的伏击地点，但被告也并不一定是用伏击的方式动的手啊。就算场所不适合伏击，也依然改变不了被告是本案最大嫌疑人的事实。
如果被告真的是凶手，你不觉得他这次的杀人计划实在是太过粗糙了吗？
Objection！ 他的杀人计划或许真的很粗糙，但那也是因为他的身份特殊所致。
The second round is coming.
被告并不是特意选择在天际贸易中心见面，而是迫不得已选择此处。
Yeah.
毕竟他身居高位，又是一国首脑之子，行程并不自由，这限制了他对地点的选择。
Okay.
被告可能准备了某种说辞或诱饵，引诱林小璐相见，代替了伏击的作用。毕竟对他而言，错过天际贸易中心。
Objection！ 这种说法未免太过武断。就算错过今天，未来也总会有机会。
Objection！ 被告自身就没有什么自由可言，而林小璐又是个被全球通缉的重犯。在这样的状况下，他还想在未来找机会见面，你当全球警方都是吃干饭的吗？
说的也是啊。
Indeed, Cujo is a globally wanted criminal. This might be their only chance to meet.
Stay calm and look at the evidence. Well, I don't want to do that in the middle of the speaking segment because it'll just auto scroll. There's a card there.
被告并不是特意选择在天际贸易中心见面，而是迫不得已选择此处。毕竟他身居高位，又是一国首脑之子，行程并不自由。
Objection！ 就算如此，他总会有些私人时间，比如夜晚、用餐，或者是工作结束之后的闲暇。
Objection！ 被告可不只有 NGO 理事长这一个身份，还是一国元首的儿子。其周身的安保措施完全就是国家要员级别。他几乎24小时都有专人保护，任何人想要接触他，都要经过重重安保。反过来说，他想要私自做些什么，也同样会被重重安保阻碍。
这确实如此啊。
被告并不是特意选择在天际贸易中心见面，毕竟他身居高位，被告可能准备了某种说辞或诱饵，引诱。
Objection！
Ah, I finally understand.
雷检，我手上确实有件证物，或许他真的是银河为林小璐准备的，但他是不是所谓的诱饵，需要庭上的诸位来共同判断。说不定，他可以证明银河与林小璐见面的目的。
什么？
但同时，他也可以证明银河没有杀害林小璐的计划。
Yeah, he's actually her ally.
怎么会有这种证据
The card, pretty sure. The bank card.
Objection!
Right, the piece of ambiguous evidence can finally be put to use now.
I'm just gonna save because, oh boy, this is not gonna be easy.
The evidence that can prove the defendant had no intention to kill the victim is
the card. I'm pretty wait. Let me yeah, the card.
Take this.
这是从死者身上找到的银行卡。
是的， 根据警方提供的资料，这张卡的开户者正是被告海江田银河。卡内的存款额为100万元，被告还将取款密码直接写在了卡的背面。最终，这张卡却跑到了死者的身上。两人会面的过程中发生了什么，已经不言而喻了。
难道说？
是的，被告与林小璐见面，正是打算将这张卡赠送给他，提供援助。
Yeah, but also at the same time, we're also proving that he's affiliated with a Sky Shield member. But I guess we're just trying to prove him innocent of the murder. That's the situation. Hey, we didn't. Hey, it's not our obligation to prove that he's not part of Sky Shield.
Order! Order! Defense, do you know what you're saying? If this is true, the defendant becomes an accomplice to a wanted criminal.
Chief? Will it further incriminate Galaxy? We're supposed to be advocates for the client's interests, aren't we?
I'm well aware of that, but there is a saying, choose the lesser of two evils. If Galaxy's support for Kujo can clear his suspicion of murder, we are still protecting his interests.
Objection!
How naive. The role of the bank card in the case has already been discussed at the beginning of the trial. You may be right. This victim didn't try to rob the defendant, but supporting the victim has no contradiction with the intent to kill. You could use this card as bait to make the victim lower her guard before shooting her.
Objection!
This doesn't make any sense. If this card is supposed to be a bait, why is there money in it? There are no ATMs on the 101st floor. The defendant could have used an empty card as a lure.
You!
It is precisely the bank card with a substantial amount of money that makes the defendant the least likely killer in this building. After all, no one would bother to prepare assistance for someone they intend to kill.
Order! Order! I have to admit that the defense makes a reasonable point. Prosecutor Ray, you need to carefully consider the defendant's motive for murder.
We made it through?
Not the time to celebrate yet. Those two on the other side clearly have an air of confidence.
Well, since the evidence is not yet sufficient, perhaps we should...
Objection.
Prosecutor Schubert?
No need for that. Our side can agree that the defendant may not have planned to kill the victim. However, whether it was premeditated or a spur-of-the-moment decision, it doesn't reduce his suspicion. If he is not the murderer, why would he move the body to the rooftop? What?
Your Honor, the prosecution requests the summoning of the next witness. This witness witnessed the whole process of defendants destroying. This witness witnessed the whole process of the defendants destroying the crime scene and transporting the body.
There's actually a witness like that? In that case, we will adjourn for 15 minutes. During this time, the two prosecutors should prepare accordingly.
Perfect.
I knew it. Those two on the other side wouldn't let us off the hook so easily.
With that, we will adjourn from now on.
January 29th, 11:05 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby.
Just when we saw a glimmer of hope, another eyewitness appears.
Calm down. There's more than one eyewitness in this case. We have known that since yesterday. The reason we're so passive is because we still don't know what Galaxy did that day.
Why do we always encounter such uncooperative defendants?
No, it's not that Galaxy doesn't want to cooperate, but he has some hidden secrets. I really want to ask him about his relationship with Kujo, but unfortunately I can't do that right now. Are the staff from Neon still around?
Well, there are fewer now. They're probably watching all over Galaxy. Chief, I'm really curious. What's Justice Kaeda really up to? Is he concerned about Galaxy's safety and hoping we win the trial? After all, with his people watching, even Sis doesn't dare to put too much pressure on us.
Indeed, this trial segment was the easiest among the confrontations with your sister.
But why is he also preventing us from contacting Galaxy? What does he really want?
To be honest, Our country's judicial independence cannot be interfered with by anyone, even if it's the President of the US, let alone Neon, which is less power than our country. The personnel present can, at most, make both sides proceed more cautious when presenting evidence due to diplomatic influences.
Are you saying that he's going to such lengths just to ensure a fair verdict for his son?
Heh, if it only were that simple. The Vice President's behavior is so ostentatious, it seems less about winning the case and more about monitoring everything.
Does that mean there might be some unfavorable information to him hidden in this case?
This sounds like a reasonable angle, but our focus today is not on him.
Oh, it seems your mind is still...
Oh, it seems your mind is still clear, cutie.
Oh, hey, new art. New sprite animation and such.
Detective Sanford, you're still here.
Not by my choice. It's Randy, my son. It's his first time to the courthouse. He insists on taking a stroll around here. Ah, is this the boy? Nice to meet you.
So energetic. Am I gold?
Ah, so cute. Detective Sanford, is this the mysterious Randy? Mysterious? Randy, come here and introduce yourself. Yeah, my name is Skyron Stone, 4.5 years old. My daddy and mommy are both police officers. I want to be one too. Wow, what an ambition.
Quite a unique self-introduction. Detective Sanford, why did you bring Randy to the courthouse today?
I'm just putting him down.
I have to. The kindergarten closed early because of the upcoming spring festival. Thanks to your client, I can't rest even after the ribbon cutting ceremony, so I have to bring him along.
This is the first time I've seen Detective Sanford being so gentle. So, Detective Sanford, did you also take Randy to the Skyrim Trade Center yesterday?
Yeah, instead of leaving him alone at home, it's better to bring him to my place. At least many of my subordinates are around. It was supposed to be a routine security job. Who would have expected something like this would happen? It's really bad luck.
Yes.
Mommy, are you talking about that huge building? Yeah, right. Didn't you say that the building was beautiful? Yeah, I saw something really amazing in the building. Wow, really amazing? Yeah, Mommy, you'll be surprised. Really amazing. Could it be related to the case? Huh, you're overthinking it. Randy didn't even leave the first floor that day. How could it be related to the case? Yeah, did you see that super beautiful glass house? It's all transparent. Really amazing.
So it's just the transparent sightseeing elevator.
Well, it's about time. I don't have much to do here today, so I'm gonna go now. There are still 2 peculiar things on Gujo to investigate. I have to go back to the bureau this afternoon. Ah, still 2. How could that piece of clothing hold so much? Could those 2 things be significant to the case? If so, we would have figured them out before the trial today, no matter what.
So they are something that may or may not be related to the case.
More or less. Alright, Randy, say goodbye to them. Goodbye! Detective Sanford is completely different with her son around.
Parents, her hardships are beyond our imagination, especially considering what she has been through.
Speaking of which, the next witness could reveal information about Galaxy's handling of the body, right?
Yes. According to Prosecutor Schubert's tone, it seems that the credibility of this witness' testimony will be very high.
So, Galaxy really moved Kujo's body from the crime scene?
If the crime scene was on the 101st floor, and the body ended up on the top floor, it's inevitable that someone moved the body. But let's spare the speculation before we hear the testimony. It's about time. Let's go back.
Alright, let's maintain our momentum in the second half and refute all of the prosecution's claims.
So it is. What you should. could have sworn I had a white symbol on it.
Oh wait, yeah, let's
Huh. After a 15-minute recess, I hope both sides are ready. Now, court will reconvene for the trial of Mr. Galaxy Kaeda. Is the witness mentioned by the prosecution ready to testify?
Yes, anytime. As mentioned earlier, this witness happened to see the defendant handling the body by a stroke of luck.
Handling a body is something that people would like to hide. What a coincidence.
In that case, bring him to the stand now.
I present the Vice President of the Chinese Poetry Association and Master of Traditional Literature, Gu Guoge. So, it's President Gu.
We might be in for a rough time.
Oh, this witness looks quite special. Witness, I ask if you are a fortune teller. Could you give me a divination by my date and time of birth?
Ahem.
Sorry, let's continue. Just now, Prosecutor Ray mentioned that you are a master of traditional literature.
You flatter me. As the ancients said, the strong grass is known by the fierce wind, and the loyal minister by times of turmoil. I, Gu, am but a humble scholar with shallow learning. Lacking broad knowledge, I am unworthy of the high halls of refinement. Such praise, alas, I cannot bear. I beseech thee, noble sir, to show me mercy.
Ah, no, you're too modest.
The moment he just started speaking, I have a premonition that the upcoming questioning will be a disaster.
But I must remind you that hats and sunglasses are not allowed in the courtroom. Your attire.
Well,
The witness is of an advanced age, and due to a medical condition, his eyes and skin are extremely sensitive to bright light. As he said, this attire is in accordance with medical advice, and he has submitted a formal application before appearing in court.
I see. Since it's a health issue, the court will no longer insist.
President Gu, do you know why you're standing here?
The law, sir, is the rule of the land, and the model of all things. Am I summoned here today to uphold justice and righteousness? Oh, uphold justice and righteousness. I feel like my soul is about to ignite.
Please control yourself and put down the gavel. It's not time to give a verdict.
According to the prosecution, you witnessed the scene where the defendant was handling the body, right?
Indeed. The fright I have suffered is no small matter, and thus my memory remains vivid and fresh. If thou desirest the full account, I ask thee to be patient and hear me out at length. I, Gu Guoge, a lowly being, find myself honored by esteemed individuals to partake in the sacred event. On that morn, by a fortuitous chance, I stood upon the rooftop. Lo and behold, a scene of horror unfolded before mine eyes. As I gazed upon it closely, there lay a woman upon the steps. Her hair was twisted, a sight to behold. Wait, her hair is twisted. What? Doesn't look twisted to me. Well, I guess it must have been after they untied her. Nearby stood a strange figure, attired in black and white, with an angry face. Knocking on the door, the sound sharp and clear. I must confess, though I am a well past age of 50, I still hold a certain fear of things beyond the mortal realm. At that point, a single thought arose in my mind. Is he black and white, the ghost messenger? In my panic I turned and fled. As I descended the stairs, a sudden realization dawned upon me. The place upon which I stood was none other than the rooftop. The ancients have said
Spirits dislike noise. With so many people present, no spirit could linger undetected in this place. Wow, this testimony is like an exciting libretto.
Is that all? My literature isn't very good, so I got a bit confused. Considering the difficulty in understanding the witness's testimony, I'll summarize it briefly. The witness arrived at the rooftop in the early morning and saw Kujio's body and a person banging on the door, the defendant. Due to the defendant's unique attire, the witness mistook him for supernatural beings and hastily left out of fear. Ah, I got it.
Forgive me, I have spoken in this matter for decades, which doth make it difficult for me to speak in the modern terms.
He directly witnessed the defendant carrying the body and banging on the door. This is worse than I imagined. President Gu, did you notice anything else after the ribbon-cutting ceremony started?
During the ceremony, I did realize that the man speaking on the stage was the strange figure I had seen, the accused. Shortly thereafter, the female body did descend from above, causing the assembled guests to turn pale and nearly flee. It was only then that I awoke from my stupor and realized the earlier event was no act of demons, but a heinous murder.
This president, despite being afraid of ghosts, shows no fear in the face of murder.
Verily, due to the woman's warrior swiftness and resolute nature, unnecessary complications were averted. Upon reflection, I realized my experience might be of some aid and thus sought out the officers to report it truthfully.
The woman warrior should be Detective Sanford. He was indeed searching for her on the day of the incident. In that case, President Gu is truly a righteous person who helps the police and repays kindness.
Your praise is too high. I am but fulfilling my duty.
In any case, defense, do you understand the meaning of this testimony now? The witness saw the defendant attempting to take the body to the rooftop. His testimony matches the traces at the scene perfectly.
This is indeed a compelling testimony. I can't imagine why the defendant would go to such lengths if he were not the culprit.
The witness's statement is not only firm but powerful, but also very detailed. It doesn't seem like a lie. It's getting really bad. Why did you move the body to the rooftop, Galaxy? Our communication with the defendant has been restricted since the incident, so we are hearing lots of details for the first time. To be cautious, before reaching any conclusions, we should thoroughly question the witness's testimony.
That's reasonable. Witness, are you ready?
Yes, I shall speak without concealment.
Wait a sec.
By fortuitous chance, what kind of chance led you to the rooftop?
I came here by what I heard, and I left by what I saw.
What do you mean?
To the rooftop I went, driven by fancy, an unplanned deed. As Wang Wei, a Chinese poet, wrote in his poem, when you reach the end of the water, sit and watch the clouds rise. Since I had come, I decided to remain. It was, after all, a chance encounter without any impropriety.
I don't understand those lines of poetry, but there are no numbers on the button that leads to the rooftop, only a letter T. I don't think interest is enough to make you press that ambiguous button.
Objection!
Literati, like the witness, love going to the rooftop to overlook the scenery. Don't you know that? The point now is that President Gu went to the entrance of the rooftop and witnessed the defendant attempting to hide the body. Well...
Let it go, Luna. It's difficult to undermine the credibility of the testimony by questioning the witness's route.
Wait a sec.
Was the woman with the twisted hair the victim of this case?
What I know, I know. What I do not know, I cannot claim. To demand of me certainty is to demand too much.
Why?
First, I beheld this woman for the initial time in her lifeless state. I had no chance to acquaint myself with her. 'Tis often said her face is gone, but the peach blossoms still smile in the spring breeze. A most sorrowful sight indeed.
I don't understand.
Me neither. Second, this circumstance doth still in great fear within me, and my inclination to keenly observe hath waned. Though I briefly glanced at her, I remain unable to ascertain if she be the ill-fated woman. The mystery remains unresolved.
Let me have a try. You mean although it looked like her, you are not 100% sure?
Exactly.
The witness's words are very cautious. It's not necessarily a bad thing for us. The victim was the only one meeting his description. There is nothing suspicious about the identity of the body.
Wait a sec.
Are you sure he's the defendant, Galaxy Kaeda? Is there the slightest possibility that he's not?
One promise to others is weightier than 1,000 taels of gold. A gentleman shall ensure the veracity of his discourse. Upon the name of my father, who fought valiantly in the Korean War, I doth swear that mine eyes have not deceived me.
So he lives in a family of military.
Why are you so certain?
Though I was frightened, the spectacle hath etched a deep imprint upon the canvas of mine memory. Regarding this man, I am certain beyond all doubt.
Can you give us more details about what happened after the defendant banged on the door?
This places me in some difficulty, for I swiftly departed in haste, leaving little room for further contemplation.
It might be an important clue for this case, so please try to recall as much as possible.
If you insist. As the door burst open, he swiftly dislowered the woman's body from the rooftop, intending to promptly depart.
Wait a sec.
You didn't go to the open area of the rooftop, yet you saw how he disposed of the body.
Though old in years, I do place great faith in mine sight. As the man laid down the body, he seemed to be muttering words. Afterward he turned to leave. Had I not fled in time, he might have taken notice of my presence.
So you're saying that Galaxy laid down Kujo's body on the rooftop and immediately left?
Chief, something seems a bit strange in the President Gu's testimony, doesn't it?
Indeed, the actions he witnessed seems to be not enough. Is he lying, or he simply misremembered?
Wait a sec.
Are you saying that you mistook the defendant for Black and White, the Ghost Messenger?
'Tis oft said the Ghost Messenger absorbs the in-soul and disperses the young soul. To the best of my knowledge, the Black and White Ghost, the Messenger, works for the King of Hell, with the duty of ensnaring his souls. The woman was surely dead, and the man's attire closely resembled the description of the Ghost Messenger in the ancient text. How could I not be filled with fear, given the circumstance?
Wait, the Black and White Ghost Messengers refers to two individuals, the Black Messenger and the White Messenger. How could you mistake one person for two?
Two.
Black is in charge of Yin.
Oh, wait, wrong voice. Black is in charge of Yin, the white Yang. We only call them Black and White, the Ghost Messenger, when they work together. This is the more mainstream understanding in literary works.
I see now. Each bring forth new talents who reign for 100 years. Verily the ancients deceive me not. Young Master Schubert is indeed a prodigy. I have much to learn from him. I am humbled.
You overpraised me.
Isn't that a common knowledge? This master's understanding is really strange.
Your common knowledge all comes from fantasy and history dramas. Of course a master like him wouldn't care such things.
Is that so?
Is he not who he says he is?
Wait a sec.
After rushing down the stairs, you realized that you were on the rooftop of the building.
Verily, my eyes beheld the banners and the esteemed visitors, whereupon I discerned that I had arrived on the 188th floor.
Did you directly head towards the multifunction hall without any hesitation along the way?
Nay, at the time my thoughts were in such disarray, I could not ponder upon where I was heading.
Actually, I do notice that the color of his mustache does not match the color of his hair and eyebrows. That's either an error or something very nuanced that may indicate this guy is not who he says he is.
I merely follow the ancient wisdom, respect spirits, but keep thy distance.
Wait a sec.
I don't quite understand. Could you explain it a bit more?
Where there are many people, the energy of Yang prevails, and it repels spirits. Having reached this place, I felt at ease. As the saying goes, mountains and rivers seem to block my path, but suddenly, beyond the willows, there was another village.
Oh, I see. President Gu is saying that there's a lot of people at the venue, so the ghosts won't come to catch him.
Just wait a moment. You mentioned earlier that you witnessed a shocking scene in the morning.
Exactly.
According to your testimony, the defendant didn't spend much time with the body, then you ran to the 188th floor. Could there already be many people in the multifunction hall?
As I ventured into the hall, there were but a few attendants and a maiden bearing a basket. But in terms of warding off spirits, it was more than enough.
A maiden bearing a basket? It must have been Mooney.
After hearing Galaxy's confession to murder, Mooney immediately came to the multifunction hall. President Gu's witnessing Galaxy handling the body must have happened after that. The timeline is right.
Chief, I can barely understand what President Gu said, so I'll rely on you.
You should spend more time studying.
I watch plenty of TV dramas, but people there never talk like this.
I am speechless. Though President Gu's testimony is hard to follow, this key info is clear. He doesn't seem like a spoiler. It seems he's not lying. In what circumstances would his words be true but not aligned with the facts?
As the door burst, it shook me. Okay, hold on.
Objection!
No, okay.
What do I present here? As the door burst open, he swiftly lowered the body. From the rooftop. And this was supposedly before the speech happened. So now what do I present here?
Objection!
No, that's not it. Shit.
Wait a sec.
There's no mention of the cables. Is that what it is?
Objection!
Yeah. I should have just used the cables.
Witness, let me confirm again. After the defendant put down the body, he turned around to leave, right?
Indeed. Do you, counsel, have any other insights?
If your testimony is true, it would show a huge contradiction with the reality.
A contradiction? I do not comprehend. Please explain.
Witness, since you participated in the ribbon-cutting ceremony like us, you must have witnessed the body falling from a height. The reason why the victim's body was suspended in such a strange manner is that her arms were wrapped in cables.
Wait a minute. Are you saying...
Exactly. If the defendant immediately left after putting down the body, he couldn't have tied the body with cable. So, witness, I must ask you solemnly, did the defendant really not touch the cables near the water heater?
With thy guidance, I do now see that something seems amiss. But as for what I did not see, I cannot speak falsehoods. I am certain that the defendant did not touch the cables. Order! Order! I'm a bit confused now. If the defendant didn't use the cable to tie the body, how was she suspended there? Even I cannot fathom the mystery. What do you all think?
President Gu's tone is sincere, and he's clearly helping us. He's definitely not lying. Let's think carefully about this contradiction. It might bring a whole new perspective to the case. Your Honor, let me try to speculate. The conclusion that can explain this contradiction is...
Yeah, another person tied the body.
I think the only reasonable explanation is that after the defendant left the rooftop, another person came to tie the cables.
What? There are other... What? There are other people involved in the case?
When the defendant put down the body and left the rooftop, the only witness, President Gu, also went to the multifunction hall. From that moment the body fell from the rooftop area was empty. Anyone could have come to the defendant's dumping site without being noticed and tied the body with the cables.
Objection!
It's so absurd. Tell us, who is this person?
The information we currently have is not enough to identify this person.
Let us set the identity matter aside. How do you explain the purpose of tying the body with the cable?
Well, indeed. I want to suggest that this person who came to the rooftop after the defendant had major suspicions. But if this person is the real culprit, he didn't need to do such an unfavorable thing. It seems like I've accidentally led myself into a dead end.
Wait, I have yet one more word to share. Might I ask all you to listen? Witness, do you have more to say? Yes, before I reached the rooftop, I experienced some strangeness. I had not considered them earlier, but after Counsel Drake mentioned the possibility of a third party on the roof, Now it seemeth that these matters may hold some matter of connection.
That's good. Please tell us right away.
This matter must be in with my actions earlier that morning. When I did arrive at the center and took the lift up onto the function hall, I accidentally pressed the button for the 99th floor. I am a person of whim, and having such opportunity, thus resolved to venture forth and discern. Yet upon arrival I found myself sorely disappointed, for beyond the lift there stood but a glass shut door. At that moment I heard a loud noise behind the glass afore me, and besides, a slight stir, akin to the sound of footsteps. Fearing it might be a ghost, I grew terrified and fled to the lift, pressing the button in haste. As the lift arrived, I hastily entered and pressed a random button, only to encounter yet another dread scene. Footsteps and a loud noise from the 99th floor. Prosecutor Ray, what was that?
I wish I knew. Witness, when we just questioned you before the trial, you never mentioned going to the 99th floor. Why did you deliberately hide crucial information from the police during questioning?
Please do not be angry. It was only after the council's inquiries that I realized this experience might be related to the case. Before that, I had dismissed it as a fleeting auditory illusion. I thought nothing of it.
Chief, this witness went to the 99th floor. I thought that place had nothing to do with the case.
Me too. However, it seems he brought quite unexpected information for us.
Prosecutor Ray, what's on the 99th floor of this building?
The 99th floor is the yet-to-be-opened American consulate. Like he said in his testimony, the door is closed.
How to open that door?
Credentials and password.
What?
Since it's an important foreign affairs institution, you need the credentials of consulate officials to activate the door panel. Then you need to enter a password known only to the consulate staff. You need both credentials and a password? That's so complicated.
I see. What do you think, defense?
We still can't be sure if the sound the witness heard is related to the case. To clear everyone's doubts, let me start questioning.
Counsel Drake, I am at your service.
Wait a sec.
Can you elaborate on this loud noise?
As for the loud noise, I do not know for certain, but it seemed like the sound of a heavy object striking some metal structure.
So you mean it wasn't a gunshot?
I attended the soldiers' shooting drills and heard gunshots. This noise, however, is distinctly unlike gunfire.
Are you sure?
A promise is worth its weight in gold, and a heart of jade holds true to its word. I adhere to the path of honesty.
But if it wasn't a gunshot, what could it be?
Hearing is better than not hearing. Seeing is better than hearing. I know not the truth. I thus dare not lightly speak.
If the sound came from behind the glass door, which is inside the consulate, even the prosecution lacks the authority to enter.
No evidence shows the 99th floor related to the case until now. The prosecution will break into a foreign affairs office.
Then can you describe the footsteps after the loud noise?
I do find myself quite perplexed. The sound was faint and brief, and I no longer recall it clearly.
So you heard banging and footsteps from behind the glass door. Is that right?
Yeah, it's soundproof, isn't it? Yeah, it's soundproof.
Objection.
Hold on, witness. What you just said in your testimony seems a bit off, doesn't it? According to your testimony, you heard the sound coming from behind the 99th floor glass door.
Verily? Is there something amiss in this account?
It's strange because according to our investigation, the glass door of the consulate is incredibly thick and clearly soundproof. Soundproof glass? If there were exceptionally loud noises inside, you might have felt vibrations standing outside the door. But in your testimony, you also mentioned hearing footsteps, which is absolutely impossible.
Ah, what an oversight! Order, order! Witness, can you explain it?
This... Witness, was your testimony just now a lie?
No way.
The prosecution has investigated that glass door, whose soundproofing capabilities are even better than Mr. Drake imagined. Not to mention footsteps. Even if someone detonated a bomb inside, there wouldn't be any sound heard from outside.
That's amazing.
The witness couldn't have heard these so-called noises. Mr. Gu, forgive me, but are you perhaps confusing reality with your dreams from last night?
The court is a hallowed stead, wherefore I speak not untruly. My testimony without any falsehood stands firm and true.
Then tell us, how did you hear sounds from a... Oh, how did you hear... Wait, then tell us, how did you hear the sounds through that thick, soundproof door? Chief, we saw that glass door yesterday during the investigation. If President Gu is not mistaken, he must be lying, right?
In the usual thought process, we would indeed come to that conclusion. But if we step out of that framework and think from a different angle, maybe there will be unexpected results.
Are you saying President Gu might be neither mistaken nor lying?
What am I to do?
Even without Verity Lance, I can sense sincerity in the witness's eyes. He seems to have some unspoken secret that's preventing him from revealing the whole truth. If President Gu really heard the sound from the 99th floor interior...
Your Honor, although this witness's attitude is commendable, the prosecution believes his memory is somewhat distorted. To continue the trial, perhaps it's best to let him rest and leave the courtroom.
Objection!
Prosecutor Ray, isn't your conclusion a bit premature? I don't think this witness's testimony is in the least bit distorted.
Are you gonna mess around again? The soundproof glass door is a hard fact.
The existence of the glass door is true, but have you considered that under certain circumstances, it may not be soundproof?
What?
There are many possibilities leading to this situation. I need to carefully consider which one is the truth. The defense believes that President Gu was able to hear the interior of the 99th floor because...
As inside, the glass door was open. What? Is that not true?
The glass door of the 99th floor was open at the time.
Oh?
Why are you so indifferent?
What reaction do you want from me? Haven't you seen an automatic door before? Not to mention how to open that heavily sealed door. Even if it were opened, it would immediately close within a few seconds. So you mean that the witness happened to hear the aforementioned sounds within a few seconds? Are you serious?
Maybe the door was malfunctioning at the time, or there was some power outage in the building or something.
This is a newly completed building. How could there be such a malfunction on the day of the ribbon cutting ceremony?
Well, it seems like you totally beat me. Quite impressive. Well. Prosecutor Ray's sharp as ever. It's impossible to get past with incomplete logic.
Oh my god. Yeah, I just don't like it how sometimes the game just gives you a pretty ambiguous option. Because I interpreted that option as the guy opened it and went inside. So I'm like, bruh.
He was inside.
Yeah.
He was inside the 99th floor at the time. If he was inside the consulate, naturally there would be no obstacles. In the empty consulate, any slight sound would be heard clearly.
Nonsense!
Engage your brain before opening your mouth, okay? Did you forget about the security system at the entrance?
Objection!
The security system is indeed strict, but is not entirely impossible to open.
Objection!
The prosecution just said opening the glass door requires both staff credentials and a passport. The only ones who can meet both conditions are the staff of the American consulate. Open your eyes and take a good look.
There were no Americans on the guest list that day.
Objection.
Americans don't necessarily need an American name. All U.S. ambassadors to our country have had catchy names.
Nonsense. If you insist it was the consulate staff who opened the door, prove it.
There is indeed a piece of evidence.
I know you have no... What?
Although I'm not entirely sure, we have indeed obtained evidence to prove the consulate's door might have been opened. The evidence that can prove the consulate's door might have been opened is this.
The passport.
Take this.
What is this? What is this?
This is a passport. Specifically, it's a passport from the United States.
The United States? Where did you find it?
This passport was lying quietly on the floor of the stairwell on the 189th floor.
The 189th floor leads to the rooftop.
The owner of this passport is named David Johnson, who, from the appearance, seems to be a typical American. If my speculation is correct, this person is likely an official from the American consulate. This person not only possesses the credentials to open the door, but also, as a staff member, naturally knows the door's password.
Objection!
There was no such person on the guest list for this event. What can a passport prove? Even if this David Johnson is indeed a consulate official, he was never present at the scene. Chief, do you have any thoughts? I've been wondering about this passport since yesterday.
Indeed, Prosecutor Ray is correct. Since the incident, the police immediately sealed off the scene, and no one could leave. Neither we nor the police found a blonde-haired and blue-eyed American in the building. But on the other hand, if this American wasn't at the scene, there would be no way to open the glass door on the 99th floor. And since a passport is such an important item, there's no reason for this person to lend it to someone else.
So Mr. Johnson did come to the scene, but wasn't noticed by anyone?
I came to the scene, but wasn't noticed by anyone. I have an astounding idea.
What is it?
This can't be true, can it? Considering all the information so far, this is the only possibility, even though this conclusion is incredibly absurd.
Defense, you're whispering again. Do you have something to say about the owner of this passport?
The defense believes that the owner of this passport was indeed inside the Skyrim Trade Center at the time of the incident.
What?
But Mr. David Johnson's appearance slightly differs from that on the passport, making it hard to identify.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. So tell me, what does Mr. David Johnson look like?
The true appearance of Jake Marshall is...
Jake Marshall? The fuck? Where did Jake Marshall come from? This
Take
fucking
this.
guy.
Isn't that the witness?
Let's recall the testimony of President Gu. He went to the Skyrim Trade Center and headed straight to the 99th floor. Then he heard loud noises and footsteps inside the 99th floor. As a master of traditional literature, these actions seem very out of place. However, if President Gu's true identity is an official of the American consulate, all his actions would be reasonable.
You mean he came to inspect the consulate's new site as a staff member?
The witness, after hearing the noise, rushed to the rooftop and left quickly for the fear of being discovered by the defendant. This passport probably dropped at that time.
Wait a minute. I understand all these reasons, but this witness really looks the least like a foreigner among all of us. Order! Order!
The witness recites Chinese poetry and writes beautiful characters. It's hard to believe, but it's the only reasonable inference. It's very simple to verify this. Witness, are you listening to our conversation?
Sir, in the hall of law, dare I not be slothful?
Then could you take off your hat and sunglasses?
When false is taken for true, truth becomes false. If non-being turns into being, being becomes not being. I understand. Worthy art of thou, Consul Drake, thy performance is impressive indeed.
Yep, it's him.
Hail to all, may ye be in good health. My name is David Johnson.
What?
What?
Huh?
Oh, what? Order, order. What? Witness? Why? Do you? This is really surprising. I have searched far and wide for this passport, yet found it not. But lo, the council hath found it.
Objection!
No way. How could someone like you be the vice president of the Chinese Poetry Association?
On the list of the association, there is indeed a person named Gu Guo Ge, the Lushan Hermit. I'm very sure it's the witness.
The identity is verily true. Gu Guo Ge is my name in this country.
But you once swore in the name of your father who fought valiantly in the Korean War. How do you explain that?
Mine father verily was an American soldier who fought in the Korean War. By swearing by his name, what issue could there be?
But why would you hide your American identity?
Council is unaware. Mine father, stranded in your noble country, due to the war many decades ago, led to my birth in this land. The lore of this land hath been mine heart's delight, all mine life, a love unforgotten, even after mine return to statecraft there.
Our culture indeed is as vast and profound. Did you decide to take a job at the consulate and return here because of this?
Yes, that's right. However, thy realm's cultural research organizations have never taken in a foreigner. So to steep myself in mine passion and mingle with the folk, I was compelled to don this disguise in my daily life.
It's the first time I've seen someone mix several modern and ancient languages like this.
I never heard of such a thing. Prosecution, how could you not even get the nationality and identity of the witness right?
This is indeed an out oversight. The witness's name and vice president's identity are both confirmed.
And the habit of wearing a hat and sunglasses is also corroborated by several members of the Chinese Poetry Association. I think perhaps even they don't know the true appearance of President Gu.
The witness is a well-known public figure, and the trial was approaching in no time, so the police did not check his certificate. So President Gu, or should I say Mr. Johnson, I'm at a loss for how to address you.
The scattered flowers gradually dazzle the eyes, while the shallow grass barely hides the hooves of a horse. Take it easy. I am who I am. Titles matter not.
So, President Gu, you do have access to the consulate, right?
Bingo! Nay, rather say I did enter the palace where I work on that day. I hold the position of Vice President of the Poetry Association here. However, in my homeland, I also serve as an envoy to China. On that day, I did journey to the trade center with intent to survey the new site for the consulate and plan the relocation.
So apart from you, is there anyone else who can enter the American consulate on the 99th floor?
Save for myself, only my colleagues are privy. However, on that day, they were all engaged at our own premises, far distant. Moreover, here our nation's halls of power doth stand a strong guardian, known by the iris recognition system.
What's that? Iris recognition system. A more accurate identity authentication than fingerprint recognition.
So even if someone obtains the credentials and the password, they couldn't possibly open the door?
Verily, to conceal my identity, I altered certain details of my experience, for which I must now offer my sincerest apologies. Now that my true identity is laid bare, there's no longer any need for further concealment.
Witness, do you still insist on your account of hearing loud noises and footsteps?
In the court I shall utter no falsehoods. My prior concealment has caused all of you all much wasted time. I shall make amends for this fault and restore you all the truth. Little did I expect that my true identity will be uncovered in court. Everyone did a good job. However, I have not uttered a single falsehood. I did indeed hear the faint sound on the 99th floor. Upon that day, I went to the 99th floor to inspect the new site of the consulate and to take photographs for my report. Upon entering the consulate, suddenly, from the deep dark depths of the corridor, there came a mighty noise. Footsteps, all at once. Before my arrival, the door had no means of opening. To claim that another could have entered, impossible. Thus I feared that this matter pertained to spirits and dared not to linger. I quickly turned and fled towards the elevator. The witness's testimony became even more confusing after being mixed with modern English. I'm sorry, prithee, forgive me for the confusion.
President Gu has no motive to conceal anything now. This time he must be telling the truth, right?
Earlier I was loath to speak of the internal matter of the consulate, for I wish not to reveal mine identity. Now that the matter has come to light, I shall dare not to speak a single falsehood. I implore you all to judge the truth fairly. The witness speaks with such firmness. What are the opinions of both sides?
The prosecution believes that the witness no longer has any motive to lie, but we still have reservations about this testimony. The 99th floor has no direct connection to the case, and the noise the witness heard wouldn't affect the 101st floor.
That makes sense.
Your Honor, according to the testimony of Moody Beans, the victim should have arrived on the 101st floor around 8 a.m. At the time when President Gu heard the loud noise and took the elevator, to leave should be very close to this moment.
Though I can't recall the exact hour, I did set forth at 8 a.m. to the consulate for inspection, and it shall not differ by much.
Based on the timing, those two events happen too close together, so we can't rule out their connection.
That also makes sense. Well then, let the defense begin the questioning.
Wait a sec.
Inspecting the consulate's new location and taking photos to report back. Was that your task for the day?
Nay, I attended the ceremony under the guise of Lu Shan Hermit. Inspecting the consulate was not part of my official duty. However, since I was already there, I thought it'd be prudent to inspect the office, as it is indeed my responsibility as the envoy.
Feels like there are many points of concern in this testimony. Perhaps it's best to ask more questions. The photos. Could you provide more details about the content you intended to photograph and report?
Well, this is a matter of shame. I intended to photograph the consulate's interior for my colleagues in selecting furnishings. Yet, though I am skilled with the pen, I am utterly ignorant of electronic devices. My camera was borrowed from a colleague. Perhaps due to an error in its settings, I failed to capture a single usable photograph.
Not a single one. Was the lens cap still on?
I doubt President Gu will be so incompetent. While I may not be as proficient as Alex Shang, I still understand the basic functions of a DSLR camera. We have to inspect this camera to find out why he couldn't take any photos.
What to do? If we ask the witness for the camera, it could immediately end the questioning. Should I have Luna inspect President Gu's camera now?
Not right now.
Not now. We still have a lot of questions to ask.
Wait a sec.
Let me confirm. You heard these sounds inside the consulate, right? Correct?
Fairly. I was in the midst of inspecting the new site, and the sound came from around the corner.
Since the source of the sound was in the same space as you, could you describe it in more detail?
I have already recounted all I know. The loud noise, perhaps caused by a metal being struck. As for the footsteps, I truly do not have any clear memory of them.
Metal being struck? What kind of sound is that exactly? It's hard to imagine.
Can't be the door though. Metal being struck. What, the gun?
Wait a sec.
Your colleague surely wouldn't have gone there, but could there be others who have had the authority to enter?
I am puzzled. Please explain.
I mean, could it be the construction workers or high-ranking officers with investigative authority?
Objection!
Diplomatic institutions aren't child's play. Strictly speaking, the consulate is not even considered our country's territory. Even if Chief Prosecutor or Minister of Public Security would have to go through complex procedures if they wanted to enter.
The construction workers left the city months ago, so they certainly wouldn't be involved.
In that case, the lockdown of this access control becomes absolute. Besides, there couldn't possibly be a second person with the authority to open the door. Then why did he hear those sounds?
Wait a sec.
Did you investigate towards the source of the sound to see what was making it? To my shame, I was so terrified that I nearly lost my wits. If I had recklessly investigated and my soul was seized by ghosts, you would all have faced yet another mystery case.
Well, if you were truly spirited away by ghosts, it would indeed be difficult for the court to prosecute the perpetrator.
The judge is actually deep in thought. Should I say he's off topic or dedicated?
Wait a sec.
Witness, witness, do you still have the camera you carried with you that day?
This is an object borrowed from a comrade, which I carry with me at all times.
Could you please bring it out? Maybe there's something useful. Maybe there's some useful information inside.
Last eve I did inspect it, finding the camera's photo repository utterly vacant. I thought that the device might have malfunctioned. If Miss Consul knows how to repair or adjust it, that would have been most helpful. Oh, I didn't expect the witness's camera to be quite good.
A newly released DSLR camera from the latter half of last year.
Typical American generosity. So, have you found anything?
Just as President Gu mentioned, there's truly not a single photo in the gallery. This is quite baffling. President Gu, how did you operate this camera at the time?
At the time, the consulate's interior was dimly lit, with the windows covered with light shields. I heard that in such a setting, one must adjust the aperture and shutter speed and other intricacies. But as for how to make these adjustments, I know not. I simply pressed a few buttons at random.
It's commendable that you remember those fancy words. Even if I had it, I wouldn't know how to handle it.
And then what happened when you took the photo?
At my pressing the shutter button, there arose no sound as the shutter out.
You randomly switched the mode, pressed the shutter, and there was no click? Ah, I understand. You must have switched the camera to video mode.
Video?
Let me see. Indeed, there's a video on the memory card that you captured at the time.
What? A video?
Order! 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 Such an important clue. Defense, play it in court.
No problem.
Do we have like a projector to connect this to or something?
This is a video captured by the witness.
How should I put it? It seems the witness indeed failed to adjust the camera settings, making it possible to capture anything in dim light. What a waste of effort.
I am very sorry for my inability to lend aid to all. I'm sorry that the court cannot treat such a video as evidence. If the witness has nothing more to say, you may retire.
Wait a sec.
Wait a moment, Your Honor. If I understand correctly, a so-called video shouldn't just contain images, right?
What do you mean by that?
Ah, yes. Cameras will record the surrounding sound as well as the video footage. Let me play it again. I'll max out the volume this time, so everyone can hear.
Clang. Buzz, buzz. Tap, tap, tap.
What?
Ugh, feels like hitting the jackpot. Anyway, we seem to have dodged a bullet today. Your Honor, you heard that. The sound of an unknown heavy object hitting metal, followed by footsteps. completely matches President Gu's testimony. But between the sound of impact and the footsteps, there seems to be a strange buzzing noise. Witness, is the sound we play what you heard that day?
Right. Upon the name of my father, who fought valiantly in the Korean War, I swear that this is the sound in the consulate on that day. Order! Order! These sounds, they actually existed. But what does that signify?
Objection!
Even if the witness's testimony is confirmed, it doesn't prove that these strange sounds are related to the case. The witness also saw the defendant Galaxy Kaeda disposing of the body. That's the point of this case.
Objection!
The disposal of the body by the defendant is indeed important, and the defense never denies a suspicious behavior. However, the 99th floor of the Skyrim Trade Center is a sealed space that no one except President Gu could enter. The significance of these sounds is much greater than what meets the eye.
Objection!
Don't use vague statements to mystify the situation. What can these sounds really prove?
It's simple. They imply that there may be at least one unexpected intruder on the 99th floor.
Intruder?
Yes, the premise of all the arguments since the trial began is that the crime scene is towering and inaccessible. If there's a way to introduce a sealed space like the 99th floor, the 101st floor could also be intruded. We know that while the glass door on the 99th floor is strictly controlled, it can easily be opened from the inside. Imagine it, if the owner of the footsteps on the 99th floor went to the 101st floor after President Gu left and killed the victim, and left the building using some unknown method, then the police blockade of the building would become meaningless.
Order! Order! Witness, please recall again. Did you encounter any suspicious individuals before or after you went to the 99th floor?
The 99th floor is my homeland's domain. I reckon none would dare approach it rashly. Wait a minute. What? I have just remembered something that may be relevant to the case.
What is it?
Owing to my fright at the time, I had not thought of it, but after careful recollection, it seems indeed it indeed happened. Whilst I did hastily descend from the rooftop, I encountered Mr. Justice. Mr. Justice? Do you mean Justice Kaeda, the Vice President of Neon?
Verily, I have met him before in a diplomatic event, thus I do know this man.
It's not surprising that Mr. Justice invited to the ceremony would go to the multifunction hall on the 188th floor.
If Mr. Justice was in the multifunction hall, this matter would be of little import. However, in my eyes, Mr. Justice was walking towards the staircase, where I stood, seemingly having the intent to ascend to the rooftop.
Did he go up because of some noise, or for some premeditation?
Is there anything else you wish to add?
That is all that I know hath been laid bare.
In that case, witness, you may retire.
I thank thee for thy understanding. Should I be of any further use, I shall surely come forth to lend aid. Looking back at the desolate place, I return where there is neither wind nor rain nor clear skies. In the height of nearly 100 floors above ground, infiltrating from the outside into a place surrounded by bulletproof glass. Without the video and audio evidence provided by the witness, I would have never have believed it. But now, with testimony and evidence in place, the court must carefully consider the possibility raised by the defense. Defense, do you have any clues regarding to this potential intruder?
We haven't investigated the 99th floor yet, so it's too early to talk about clues.
The idea of entering such a high floor from the outside is simply absurd.
Indeed, whether by helicopter or rappelling from higher floors is too fantastical. If nobody can enter from the outside, how could someone have been hiding on the 99th floor the day before the ceremony? But that's an empty space without food and water, plus entering an unfinished building isn't easy.
Well, since neither side has any leads, allow me to express the court's opinion. While the Foreign Affairs want this case resolved quickly, considering the current circumstances, today's trial must end for now. Is there really a possibility of an intrusion on the 99th floor of the Skyrim Trade Center? If someone did linger on the 99th floor, what is their identity? And what is the connection between the defendant and the victim? If he is the murderer, what was his motive? These questions are left for both sides to investigate.
Understood.
Well then.
Then I can declare this case is adjourned from now until tomorrow.
Oh. Huh? What's that? A gunshot? Who's there? Who else could it be? Who else could it be? Kucho, what are you doing here? Do I need to report my whereabouts to you? Since you're here, I have a lot of questions for you. I have no obligation to answer any of your questions, and don't you think you came too late? Ever since Triones betrayed us, the heads have been dying one after another, and now even I am not safe. But as long as Callens is safe, I really don't care. Who is this Callens exactly? Why are you sacrificing so many lives to protect him? Don't make me repeat myself. I have no obligation to answer any of your questions. Your time is up. You will no longer have the chance to pursue the truth. Hey, wait a minute. Don't go. What? What the fuck was that? A dream? I investigated for 2 days, and during today's trial with Chief, I fell asleep as soon as I got back into the office. Irako Kuzo was someone I could never forgive, but I just found out in court this morning that she's already dead. The mystery of incident number 761 is still unresolved, and Annie left me in the recent incident. If this is a nightmare, I really wish someone would pinch me so hard I could wake up.
January 29th, 2:37 p.m., Drake and Thomas Co.
Forget it. Let's see if Chief is still here. He wouldn't leave me here and go investigate by himself, would he? Chief? 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 Whoa, you scared me to death.
Is it that surprising? I just stood up from the sofa right under your nose. Why did you fall asleep again?
I've just been so tired these past 2 days. Did I shout something just now?
Yeah, seems like a terrible nightmare. You were shouting for a long time.
So I shouted more than one sentence?
If I hadn't seen you sleeping so soundly, I would have thought that the Vice President brought his men here again.
Yeah, right. It's all his fault. Not only did I mess up our investigation, but he also made me sleep like a log.
I don't think the second part has anything to do with him.
Anyway, let's focus on the case.
Okay, there were so many new pieces of evidence in court today. We need to prepare for the investigation.
Well, I think... yeah, I think we'll have to end it here. And it seems like we switched perspectives, so... yeah. Well, farewell for now, and we shall see what's going to happen in the next stream.